Okay. Well, last time we played, you guys found your way from the forest where you discovered Inari all the way into the Undercity and met with a peacekeeper named Shark. Then you went back to Feria's abandoned church just for a night of rest and to recalibrate before you take on the next day, where Callan, under the influence of this artifact dagger, attacked Inari in her sleep. The group immediately pounced on Callan, and with a skillful slice to the hand by Caehanna, Callan dropped the blade. Melicraft, the hero, in an act of, attempted de-escalation, picked up the dagger and found the influence of the dagger too much for his mind to withstand. You then spent a long time trying to fight and separate Melicraft from the dagger, in which eventually you did. Got the dagger outside, where you ran into a couple of the members of the Silence, another rival gang here in the Undercity, where they mentioned the blade as being called the Blade of the Night Stalker, or the Sister's Blade. Eventually, Melicraft and Callan were able to break their mental connection to the blade, and after a short conversation of family history, the group got a much-needed long rest, and we will begin this session the next morning, now that everybody's back to normal. So, what are we doing?
Yeah, what are we doing?
We need to get this fucking dagger up to Morris and be done with it, is what we need to do.
Okay. Go to Morris, you need to go see...
Yes, I have an associate here in Redborough that I need to speak to. I would like to visit her before we go see Morris, because if anyone would know what to do with this dagger or how to be rid of its influence entirely, it would be her, or she would know someone who would know how to do that. Also, and he'll grab that giant sack of gold. I've been meaning to distribute this. Everyone will get, let's look. Everyone will get it, and even 100 gold pieces, and he'll distribute that to everyone.
You sure, Melicraft?
I am sure. I am sure. And then there is 49 left over. Of which I will give 30 to you, Cornelius, for the drinks that you covered the other evening.
10. I'm counting every one of these. 11.
Set it down.
12. 13. 14.
So everybody gets 100 gold.
Astro to see.
I have no need for money.
I would encourage...
I'll take her share. I think I enjoy her a little bit more.
Let's hold on for a moment. Inari, you may have no use for money. I would like to let you know that literally everyone else here does have a use for it, and you may find that you will have an easier time associating with people here if you have some gold to, as Shark would say, grease their palms.
He doesn't mean literal grease though for him.
It's more of a metaphorical
Oh,
greasing.
thank you for clarifying.
You don't have to accept it, but I will hold on to it set aside for you in case you need it.
Hold on to it. I have no pockets.
Even back then, no
He'll
pockets.
tuck the gold separately in a little pocket in his bag.
Okay. Everybody add 100 gold pieces to their
Give me 30.
inventory.
130, 19. Everyone else gets 100 flat.
Next round's on Cornelius.
My riches grow.
Yep, I have. I went ahead and added it to Isadora since she's not here as well. So you're welcome, Andy.
Only I can say that, Callan, and I usually don't. There's no such thing as drinks on me.
Oh, sure.
Unless I'm mightily drunk, then sure. Then drink
As
some
long as you
wine.
keep bribing the threats, we're fine.
See, what'd you say?
So as long as you keep bribing the threats, I think.
Oh, yes. Well, that I can do. I'm very good at bribing people to not kill me. Just out of curiosity, going up top, do I know if non-citizens are allowed up there, or are they treated differently?
They are treated differently, but they're allowed up
They're
there.
allowed up there. Okay.
This may be an insulting question, and I'm sorry in advance. Your former colleague wouldn't try to keep the dagger for herself, would she?
No. Though the lore keepers are interested in, if not the destruction of items that would threaten the well-being of Thaldrin, the containment or isolation of them would also be a suitable means to make sure that its influence is not spread throughout the lands in which we inhabit.
Okay.
Doesn't really give confidence to the no, she won't take it.
So, having been a member, and I suppose I still am a member of this association, it is against our tenets to hold on to any of these items for oneself, and each and every member keeps a close eye on the items kept in containment. So, if anyone were to abscond with an item, they would be tracked relentlessly and made to relinquish the item. I can assure you, Shalane was a personal friend of mine before my transition, before I died. Shalane was a close friend of mine, and I believe with all of my heart that she wouldn't try to hold on to this for herself.
I mean, that's understandable, but I don't know if the question was answered. Will she take it in the interest of protecting other citizens?
That remains to be discussed. If she believes that it is within Thaldrin's interest for us to hold on to it and to deal with it ourselves, I would need to be in the room with her to explain to her that it has a connection to Inari, her sister, and Aratok, and that it would be probably in our interest to keep the dagger as close to Inari as possible, preferably not in her back.
That's as close as you can get.
You have my vote.
She's not going to just remove it from us. We wouldn't necessarily have to relinquish it to her. That would be a choice that we could make in the moment. We will not be forced or compelled to give it to her. She's not going to. That's not what we do.
You can tell her I do bite.
I think she would probably be able to glean that from your physicality. No offense, of course.
Little tooth like.
However, she does reside on the island. I know that you are not interested. So, if anyone, Cornelius, I would like your presence there.
Yay.
But if anyone else would care to accompany me,
I will go with you.
I will go.
Hey.
On a side note, does this mean that I can say rude things as long as I apologize in advance like you just did?
Sometimes you don't even have to apologize.
If it's unintentional, it helps to apologize. If you don't know, it helps to apologize ahead of time. I didn't know if that was going to be offensive, but I wanted to make sure that if it was, he knew I meant nothing by it before.
Yes.
Thank you. I apologize for all conversations we've had.
Yeah, it's a bit soft there.
Oh, speaking of apologies, I would like to apologize to everyone for my behavior last evening, especially towards you, Levi. I didn't mean to lose my cool, as the youth say.
Alright, just a big metal dude coming at me with nothing.
It's been some time since the issue of the cultists has been within my immediate vicinity, and I lost control of my manners. I apologize to you and to the entire group for my behavior.
Apology accepted.
Apology accepted.
Your forgiveness could be bought for another 10, 15
Oh
people.
God.
The second,
Yeah, it's fine.
the second we saw your eyes light up red, we knew that was not you anymore.
Yes,
You
that's.
had no control.
But,
Yeah, it's all the dagger's fault. So
We could do a praise circle. You want to do a praise circle?
That's a no from
To,
me.
to hold hands and pray to Eratok.
you guys yelled at me last time when I had the daggers.
I apologize. It's all for
God, I didn't.
You know, it works down. I
True
apologize.
without effect. True without apologies. That's how it works.
All right.
What is the security and guard like in this island area?
the security will not be an issue. I can guarantee us an audience with Shalane.
Then I will also accompany, although I'm a little worried about leaving you alone.
I mean, I can exist within Redwood. I just can't go on the island.
Are we to be inconspicuous?
That would be ideal.
Yes, although given the type of people above, it's going to be hard not to stick out like a sore thumb. That said, there are a few things that I am certain about, aside from grace and love. But I am 100% certain that we can meet with Shalane and at least get a better understanding of our situation.
Oh, she's there.
I wouldn't imagine that she'd be gone, but she could be. I do not know.
Well, forgive me on this one, big man, but has she seen your current form?
No.
What guarantee they will have a meeting with Shalane other than the good word of saying, oh, hey, I used to work here, but I've been dead for a minute?
You have your...
Yes. I'll produce the insignia and show it to you.
No one would ever steal that.
No. Technically speaking, no one can steal it. These are uniquely crafted and designed for the individual carrying it, and it will lose all recognizable form if stolen or the person dies. When a lore keeper passes away, their insignia loses its markings. They're unique to the person holding it. I guess since my soul is still connected to this shell, mine has not lost its markings. This cannot be fate.
Magic is by far too confusing.
That's divine magic, though.
You'd have to talk to my brother Albert on that one. I have no
Well,
knowledge of magic.
There are 4 general consensuses on how magic works. I would be delighted to share them with you at some point, but I believe that we need to get moving.
Oh, it's like back in primary school.
Many teachers have tried. Melicroft, I
it's
don't
that
think you have
time.
to bark up that tree.
It's nap time. Now I teach on going up later.
Now, if you want to know how fast it takes for a man to fall off a roof, I know that one. A lot less time than he thinks.
Well, on that note...
It was an experiment for my sister. Don't look into it, it's too dark.
Speaking of roofs, I need to patch the headquarters.
We can come back.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah.
So, up we
I
go.
guess to the island.
Is there any way up to the top that doesn't take us back outside? Because we came down to like the back entrance ways.
She would know. Feria knows there are multiple entryways, similar veiled tunnels, like you entered originally, that are actually inside the city walls.
Cool.
So, let's look at the map.
Mm-hmm. They are shown on the map too, but there's actually one really close to where you are.
Oh, perfect.
It's right just on the inside. On the western side of the map, the city, just north of the purple buildings that are squared off. There's a little tunnel entrance there.
Awesome.
That's and Feria, you would know, and I guess so would Melicroft and Cornelius. That city or that little square right there is actually the Baronistos' hideout, or not hideout, but they're where they conduct their business, which is where Morris
Yeah.
is, or
Probably best
runs.
case scenario.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's head there and start towards the island.
On the way, whenever we're getting closer to the island, and I'd say within visual distance, I will hood up, kind of like, I'm gonna go find a bar. Y'all have fun. And I'll make myself inconspicuous and drink until they're back.
Inconspicuous.
I find
Okay.
My ears going.
While we walk, I know where we're going, so I'm just gonna go away for a few minutes and give myself commissioned another cape thing. And then I how much that
apologize
cost me
for that.
with your black flames.
I don't
Yeah.
really feel sorry about it, but I
So
apologize.
you guys come out of this cavern, this like cave-like tunnel, and just like before, you physically pass through this veil, and as you do, your vision is just speared with bright light as you've been underground for the last 24 hours or so. As you look out at this point, we'd say it's probably close to around 9:30, 10 a.m. in the morning. So just short of midday. Sun is high in the sky. And at this particular part of the city, you hear the clashing, just like you did when you walked on the outside of the wall. You hear swords slashing and crashing into shields and other sort of hay dummies. You can hear the sound of men grunting as they thrust their sword into one another and practice and they
Vulgar noises.
and you also notice that this particular part of town is it's not the nicest. It's not where most citizens find themselves. You see the Baronisto hideout. Let me pull up that. Seconds.
You look at the big man.
Yeah. No, not the big map, just some points of interest. The Baronisto group hideout is called the Plaza, and that's pretty well known throughout the city. Callan, Cornelius, Melicroft, and Feria have all been. Actually, so has Levi. You've been to the Plaza when you originally picked up the the sign or the wanted poster for the dagger. Across from the plaza is a few local eateries and taverns. The most popular in this particular area is a pub called the Matchsticks. And aside that is called Charity Given, which is a popular tavern and ale house. Both are in good standing with the Baronistas. And a lot of mercenaries will go and celebrate their victories in these particular in these particular bars and pubs. So Cornelius, more than likely one of those, or sorry, Callan, more than likely one of those is where you would go, and they would meet up. So if you wanted to let them know where you're going.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the Matchsticks. Just let me know when you guys are done.
Go smoke that
That's a good one.
sinful mushroom smell.
No
Say so.
staring down anyone.
I will keep my eyes down, boss.
Thank you.
And Cornelius, you're familiar a few blocks away, closer to Mid-City, or Southtown as they call it, is a well-known tailor called Nisha. Nisha's Clothery.
He or she's the best.
Yeah. They're commonly hired by royalty to make alterations to clothing, armament, and magical vestiges. So, Nisha's Clothery is going to be a good spot for you to get a new cloak.
Hell yeah.
Everyone else, what are you all doing? Are you trying to make way through the city into the island, or as I have named King's Keep? Or are you trying to stop it, the Baronistos, to Morris first? What are your goals here?
Figured we go straight to your person, right?
Yeah, I would reiterate that I encourage us to go see my associate before we contact the Baronistos.
Chances are the Baronistas are just going to want this dagger regardless if the curse is lifted or not. So.
Now, you're sure your person can help us lift this curse? Or just give us information on it?
If she cannot point us in the direction of someone who can lift the curse or outright destroy the item, I'm confident she can get us in contact with someone who can.
Okay, well, I just don't want another evening where we all have to decide who's killing who.
At least on my front, there will be no more of those. So.
I apologized, but as long as it's not me, I really don't care. I did it.
Great job.
This is gonna be so fun.
I'm going to step into a pub or whatever and change clothes into like a finer dress. And
Okay. Which pub?
I don't know, whatever the one he goes into.
Matchsticks?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you walk into Matchsticks, I'm assuming you'll go with Callan.
Yeah, I'll just go Callan.
Yeah.
Here's
You
the
both
shirt.
walk in, you are hit with a strong smell of glowcap. It is a hot box in here. Also, there is sort of soft harp music playing, and you're able to see the musician is a essentially, best way to describe it would be an albino tiefling. This woman whose porcelain white skin, white hooked horns, and sort of pale red eyes is just softly plucking this harp in the corner. The smoke of the glow cap sort of gives this like aroma to her that almost looks more ethereal, sort of fey, which you would feel comfortable sort of in that sort of environment. But you do notice her playing. You notice there's lots of kind of gruff looking folks here. You particularly don't really know the difference between citizen and non-citizen, but Callan, you can see that there's definitely resident at most here. The owner slash like front like what would you call him? Sort of greeting you as you walk in. Both of you is a human half-elf man, slender but much taller than you, close to your height, in the mid 6 foot range. This like skinny, like middle-aged man, half pointed ears. He's wearing this sort of bolo style hat, this like rounded top hat, and he's wearing like a collared white shirt with a vest, with a few chains around the buttons on the middle. And you see as he sort of like waves at both of you, he's got these like gaudy, just gold rings on every single finger, bracelets, he is bedazzled, if you will. And he looks at both of you and he's kind of looks you up and down. Same for you, and just exaggerates looking up at you. He says, well, what can I do for you both?
Just a table for a bit, my friend.
Absolutely. I'm just here to use the restroom.
I'm afraid in such a busy city, restrooms are for consumers only. So have a drink.
I need a drink to use the restroom?
You need to spend coin to use the restroom. Plumbing is expensive.
I have coin. I can give you money and just use the restroom.
I would love you to just give me money.
Here, 5 gold coins.
5 gold. How did you know this was the exact amount to use the restroom?
Just a guess.
Lovely. Well, my name is Maker.
What was it?
Maker.
Baker.
Our restrooms are yours.
Thank you very much. And I give a little curtsy.
Right around the back side of the bar.
Okay, so I fall.
The clean one's on the left.
Okay.
Use the clean one.
Okay.
As you go back there, there's only one door.
Confused, like, I don't understand.
Callan, he kind of chuckles as he puts the coins in his pocket. He says, "Would you also like to pay to use the restroom, or is a table good enough for you?"
I would like to pay for a drink and some food.
Now that's the kind of patron we welcome here at Matchsticks.
She's new.
Oh, I could tell. So he sort of waves you over, and there's a young halfling woman who sort of like waves at you as she's standing up on a table, and it's sort of like a round booth style table in the back right corner, adjacent to where you went to the restroom. And as you go and meet this halfling woman, she says, "Is it just going to be you, or is it more?"
More maybe later, but just me for quite a bit.
All right, well, we don't really do service, so you can go to the bar if you need something. Ask Maker if you have any requests, but enjoy the music, enjoy the show, and hope you have a good time here at Matchsticks. Thank you. And she kind of stumbles down, climbs down from the table, and sort of waddles back into the back part of the restaurant. But yeah, you're able to hunker down. Obviously, as you can imagine, it's glow cap friendly, so
Yeah, light
you're able
up,
to
eat,
Yep.
and drink.
When you do, go ahead and make your roll. And mark one
Constitution, correct?
out. What's that?
It's Constitution first.
Yeah, it is a Constitution.
At some point, I just plan to have a little devil
15.
on your shoulder. Just
Easily. Yeah. And just for the future, the save is a 10. So anything over a 10, no problem. If it's under a 10, then that means you have a bad trip. And whatever that means is going to be up to the situation at hand. So, but everything's great. Colors are more vibrant. Sounds are more melodic, like you feel it. You're just having a good time.
And I'll probably spend about 3 or 4 gold on drinks and.
Yeah. So I won't worry about that until later if you decide to get more stuff. But yeah, get a few drinks. Caehanna, when you come out, you see him in the corner booth.
I'm dressed.
What are you wearing?
So when I come out, I have on a sky blue, like, a dress that you would see at, like, Royal Court. Like, it's very nice. It's long sleeved. Kind of comes, like, right here down. And I have silver ballet shoes on. And my hair is done differently. Usually it's up into, like, 5 different, like, hair ties because it's really long. And now it's down, so you see how long my hair is. And it's, like, pulled halfway up in, like, an elegant style. And there's, like, a little pearl, like, hair piece that's right there to hold it. And I'm wearing a pearl bracelet, long pearl necklace, along with that same a little opal that I'm wearing because I have 2 necklaces on. And yeah, that's how I'm dressed when I walk out.
It's like the Hermione Granger scene where she comes down and she's like, the duckling turned into a princess moment. And yeah, you go and sit with him, or are you going back outside? Were you just coming in here to do a quick change?
I was just going in to dress because we're going to the island, and I was like, I want to dress nice so I can kind of fit in. I don't fit in.
Yeah, as you leave, Maker sort of tips his bolo hat to you and says, "You look lovely. Welcome anytime."
Thank you. And I give a curtsy.
And he was like, "Did you say it was Kylie? Caehanna.
Yes.
And where are you from?"
Not here.
"That's wildly evident, darling, but where are you from? Anywhere we would know?
I don't know if you would know.
And where can we get more of you?"
More of me? What's wrong with me?
"Absolutely nothing. You are stunning.
Thank you.
I think we could use a little bit more color around here."
Okay. Well, I'm not from this world. I'm from a different place.
What?
It sounds racist, and I don't know why.
Feels like anti-racist. It's
I
like
know,
one
but
more.
that's what I'm saying. I don't know why.
I had it with all these damn elves. This way, black.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's make an insight check.
Inside. Okay. 14.
14. Yeah, you definitely get the impression that he is fishing for wanting something from you. Don't quite know exactly what it is, but you're getting the impression. It's almost like you, when you figure out someone's like trying to put on a sales pitch, and you don't know what they're selling yet, but you can tell they're trying to set it up. That's sort of the feel you get as he's asking you these questions. But you are just stunning, head to toe.
Why do you want more of me? Or my kind?
That's not the like.
And he sort of looks back. He says, well, if you didn't quite notice, there's about 0 women inside the bar, and, well, when there are women in the bar, it brings more men to the bar. If I had more of you that look like you, that dress like you, could you imagine how busy this place would be? How much gold they would spend? How many golden coins to use the restroom there would be? Just think about it. You could use the restroom for free. If you would just stop by and hang out for a few hours. Maybe bring some friends.
Well, I don't have any friends. I'm sorry.
The tragedy continues to unfold.
Get this guy a feather in his
Well,
Laura's heart.
But this is a big city.
Carlana, it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Caehanna.
I hope the city treats you well.
Better than you.
And he just like pats his like front pocket where the 5 gold that you paid to use the bathroom. He says, "Yes, poor me." Okay, the rest of you. Yeah, the rest of you see Caehanna walk out from the Matchsticks bar dressed in this beautiful, elegant gown with her opalescent like jewelry. Callan does not follow you. As the door opens, you see sort of a poof of smoke, and you get the idea of why he's not following. Cornelius, are you trying to meet them at King's Keep, or are you going to do your own thing while they're going to do that?
It was more of a playful jest. I'd
Okay.
go off and then I would try to just meet them on the way there, or if it's on the way, like, just give me 2 seconds. I bought from you before.
Yeah, you know where it is. So as you guys start walking towards King's Keep, the central part of the city that's sort of on that island, you take a short detour to Nisha's clothery. As you approach this sort of fashions row of multiple retail marketing tailors, you see leatherworking, you see jewelry, you see beautiful dressed weaponry, sort of that tournament style armor. Really not practical, but beautiful. And same goes with some of the garbs and some of the different clothing that you see walking through. And it's just, for a lot of you who haven't experienced some of these finer things, you're looking around and it's just overwhelming with the amount of color and detail and intricate craftsmanship that has gone into some of these pieces. And then there's a small sort of cubby, almost like a small alleyway, where you see this golden kind of crested sign that just says Nisha's, Nisha, Nisha's. And you've been there, Cornelius. The rest of you have not. You see, to the untrained eye, you see an alleyway. You see what just looks like a gap in other knowing, beautiful retailers. And Cornelius, with all the confidence in the world, walks into the alleyway, and you notice, just like that veiled entry to the Undercity, as he walks into this alleyway, you watch his body sort of disappear as he walks into this unknown place. The rest of you still see a blank alleyway. Cornelius, you step inside Nisha's clothery, and it's almost as if you've walked into a small pocket dimension of this majestic, kind of swanky, velvet-covered clothing store, where the floor in front of you is this kind of golden white marble. You see the walls are covered in this almost green suede. It's just everything feels soft, everything feels elegant, rich, and you see a familiar face at the top of this giant grand spiral staircase that goes to the second floor of this ridiculous building. And standing up top, you see a gnomish woman with really large glasses, and she sort of takes a peek over the railing, and then you see her peek underneath, like through the railing, and she's squinting at you. And then a moment of recollection, and then you see her go, ah! And you just see her like down the staircase, all the way down to you. The rest of you, at this moment, have you guys followed inside after you saw him disappear, or did you stay back in caution?
No, I mean, I'd probably just walk in.
Yeah.
Just throwing
I mean, that's what we do.
I don't get it. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
At this point, I'm just thinking this is normal.
Yeah.
You just walk into things.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
So yeah, everyone walks in except Levi, who's just throwing pebbles.
As Millicroft walks in, he'll pick up the pebbles and
Throw them back out.
then keep going.
Yeah, you do notice that there's no pebbles on the other side of this.
Oh, okay.
It seems like this veil is only for like organic material. So people who walk through, walk through.
Organic.
He is.
Like Cal?
He is, yeah. So we talked about this last time. He technically he's a living cover.
Pizza.
That's be I would
Oh.
refer as Hopefully he doesn't ring the bell or knock.
It's all right. No, he did, or she. I don't know. They did. So yeah, you guys all walk in and see this same descriptor. But as you walk in, you see this little, 3.5 foot gnome just stampering down the stairs, runs up to Cornelius, and right before she speaks to you, she sees everyone else and just gasps. She's like, "Oh, you brought friends!"
I don't know if they're as involved with fine sewing as you are, you savant of the needle. I know, but may I just say, every single time I come down every single time I see you come down the stairs, it's always a little bit of a laugh. You know, I have people that can make them smaller for you.
I like them big. I like to feel normal sometimes.
Well, you're not normal when you're a god with needle and thread. I can tell you that much.
That is very true. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
And she sort of inspects you all, looking at each of you and what you're wearing, almost like a fashion critic.
Millicroft will take a knee and offer his hand to her.
And she does. She takes your hand, but instead of shaking it, she lifts it and looks underneath. She takes your purple cloak in her hands and feels the cashmere material and how
It's tacky,
fine.
isn't it? It's purple.
Oh, but it's beautiful.
Well,
Tacky, of course. It's gaudy, it's awful, but it's beautiful.
I'm sure you could do better.
And she sort of inspects each of you and then stops at Levi and sort of looks down and up, and gets to the hat and just sort of crooks her head over and then looks back at you, Cornelius, and then looks back at Levi, crooks the other way. And then just kind of goes about looking through everyone. Now, I assume you are here for a complete and total renovation makeover for the entire group?
No.
Why? Besides this young girl, you all look dreadfully awful.
Wait a minute, when did you change?
It's back at the pub.
I wasn't really paying attention.
This is traditional priestess garbs. That cannot change my attire.
Oh, but you can and should.
Never. To have more than one's needs is to tame one's soul.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know about you, but this woman makes her living off of selling you things, so she is going to make me another one of those fine capes that I had, and I'll hand her my pendant. That's the platinum I'm gonna get. If you wouldn't mind creating another thing that this can hold down to. You and I have an account, I'm sure. And in the meantime, I suppose if they felt so obliged, maybe we can have a friendly rate of working on their decor up here, because some of them definitely could use better clothing.
Obviously, yes.
Also, what was that with me and Lee? Why just look at me
Staring at me.
What is a Levi?
That's him.
Me.
Oh, but I mean, you know.
Yes.
I mean, he's more like a. Come on now, don't make me say it.
Nisha, if you wouldn't mind cutting to the chase, okay? I'm not.
He's more like a sleeve with nothing inside, isn't he?
I think that's due to the nature of his hat that he wears, but I don't know much more about that.
I think this one's more empty. I'll like knock on his
Oh
forehead.
no! His soul is vibrant.
Oh, she can
I will clarify that he's not hollow, but there would be an echo.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He just.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, you say he doesn't have a soul?
No, darling, no.
Do you know what happened to me?
I've just met you. I just know clothing, and that little hat you have is quite something. Or should I say that little body you have is quite something.
Thanks.
Are you telling me he's made out of needle and thread or something? What's happening here?
I am not a creator. I am a...
Look, fine silks, red and blue, standard fare.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Nisha, it would appear that you have the gift of perhaps seeing more than the average eye can see, especially when it comes to
Me.
well, yes, but also adornments of a material nature. It would seem that perhaps you have access to clothing that may not just be to make one simply look pretty.
But if not to look pretty, what's the point?
Well, I was wondering if it would be possible to have this cloak retailored or styled in a certain way. I'm sure you can ascertain that it's not simply a piece of cloth.
You want a makeover?
Oh God.
You said the most important word I've ever heard of. That's right. Makeover. She's all about it.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. Check your Wi-Fi network connection by going to settings.
Not right now.
Melicroft. Not the time.
Sorry. My assistant's acting
You
up.
squeeze, I love you.
I could have swore you said we had free Wi-Fi here.
Well, I'm afraid that my form can't really be made of. I suppose it could, but I don't know what you carry in the way of armor. But do you have the ability to work with cloth of maybe a magical nature?
Do I have the ability? Honey, that's all I do here. No one comes to Nisha for normal garments. They come to me when they want to be beautified in magical ways.
Wait a minute. You're telling me you can put magic on one of my capes?
I've put magic on all of your capes, Cornelius.
And none of them are fireproof?
No.
No.
Can we make that an addition?
Yeah, I can't make any promises.
I can absolutely make that an addition to the
Smart
price.
choice.
I don't care the cost to make it so.
4,000 gold?
Yeah.
We might have to talk about that first.
I can make everybody if I
Well,
approve.
we typically pay, 100 gold pieces for your clothes? I would say to add a fire protection, a basic fire protection, I would maybe 150 gold pieces.
That is a lot of money, but I recently came into 130 gold pieces unexpectedly, so I'll say it's 20 gold pieces on top of what I normally do. But whatever he's working with, I have no idea what's going on through his mechanical brain.
But to answer your question, yes, I could possibly do something with your cloak. What do you have in mind?
Well, as you can tell, it's mostly patchwork. This has been made from materials very dear to me. I would like to keep at least the nature of the garment, because I don't have to worry about it falling apart on me. But I was wondering if perhaps you could add to the cloak is not large enough for my taste. I would prefer to have more of it. And also maybe maintain this. And he'll lean close to her so that he's not showing anyone else, and like pull back the part of it that's bunched up like towards the bottom of the helmet and show her something inside of it. I'd like to retain that.
She takes a moment to inspect. She says, would you be okay with leaving this with me while I work? Or do I need to recreate it from memory?
I would like to leave the original materials intact. But at the moment, I would need to see, I would like to inquire about the cost for such an endeavor. I'm getting an idea of what it would take to have, I've been meaning to have this done for some time. But I am not as wealthy as my friend here.
Well, being friends with Cornelius definitely helps your case. We don't typically do charity work here, of course, but
I expect no charity. For a quote, if you will.
For a large garment of this kind, do you want it hooded or just more of a cloak that drapes down the back?
Hooded, of course, yes.
A heroic, windy presence to you.
I would just like it to be able to perhaps close completely around me, and I would like a hood, definitely. Nice heavy hood.
Any infusements that we can do?
Well, with the funds that I have, I don't know if I can go too wild. It already has a bit of an enchantment.
Are you flammable?
Am I flammable?
Yes.
No. This, partially?
I can test it out for you.
I know for a fact that if the entire garment doesn't burn, it'll... Like, Melicroft will take the cape and tear it, and the tears will mend itself back together. It already has a bit of an enchantment. I would like that to remain intact.
Now wait a damn minute. 120 gold. I told you, it's 20 gold.
So, to my original question, did you want it to do anything extra, or just keep your basic mending abilities?
I don't know if I have the funds for something extra, but of course I would like it to do something extra.
Just between me and you, Nisha, what have you been holding out on me? What can you do with these things?
I can do practically anything for the right price.
Do you happen to have like a menu of items, and I can see if they're within my range? Or...
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Damn, that's usually my line, but I'll give you that.
But in the case of your friend, for a cloak, keeping just the mending, but sizing appropriately to you, I'd say maybe a few 100 gold pieces, made of fine fabric, flame resistant as well.
Okay. I would like to have this done. At the moment, I cannot afford several 100 gold pieces. But, as I do not expect charity from you, now that I know the price of this, I would be delighted to return and patronize your establishment.
Make a persuasion check.
Ooh. Let's see here. That's a 13.
Well, now that you know the price, we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Of course.
Cornelius.
Yes.
Your flame-resistant cloak will be ready 48 hours?
2 days. Well, luckily I plan on being in the city longer than that, I would hope so. Splendid. I shall see you then.
And then she looks to Levi and says, "So, are you in good faith with Freya?"
Who?
Oh, interesting. Okay, you guys have a good day.
Wait, whoa, hey, whoa.
She's a man. She's a woman of mystery. As I'm starting to walk out.
And you just see her eyes go wide and look and just kind of look over at everybody, and you see this like kind of glow to like the iris part of her eyes. You just see her like sort of flash for a moment. Just, never mind. It's not important.
I feel like it's important.
Only if you like to live.
I would very much like to live, yes.
Well, then it seems like you're in good standing.
Okay.
Yes. Are you poor?
I mean, that guy just gave me 100 gold.
Oh.
So, yes, apparently.
Okay. Well, if you're ever in town and care to spend a little bit of coin, we might be able to replicate some of the abilities that you have.
That sounds awesome. Yeah. Like, how much more coin?
Oh, quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Fuck.
Holding the energy of someone's life within an item is expensive, as you can imagine.
Yeah, I can imagine. Great. Just gonna awkwardly walk out now.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
She just continues looking at everyone until someone decides to order more things.
Just walk out.
You're with them.
And just bye. Have a good day.
Goodbye.
I'll offer my hand flat as if to receive hers. I would just like to bid you adieu and to thank you for your time. I know it is valuable, exceptionally, given the clientele that you serve and the manner of establishment that you keep. It is a pleasure to have met you, and I look forward to darkening your doorstep with business upon my return.
I appreciate it. It's still no for now, but I appreciate it.
Absolutely, yes.
Cornelius, 2 days. By end of business, maybe a little sooner. I'm kind of excited. I do like, I do enjoy making your cloaks. They're fun. The blues, the reds. Yes. Okay. Well, ta-ta. I'll get to work. And Nisha goes back up her stairs.
I like lean into you and be like, why did you need another cloak?
I'm not even going to dignify that. Is it?
It's just a cloak.
It's my cloak, my family's colors, and I want them.
Do you need them?
Who's got the knife?
I think she does.
No, I don't need them.
How much
It's
is got a
mine.
nice buzz going on there now?
It's my representation of my family. It's very important to me. So I do need it for myself. But I want one finally made by Nisha. It's a thing. My family's always displayed some sort of colors, whether they're
It's a
reds or
thing.
blues.
Seems
Also, how do you not have this whole garb and not have something, over you all majestic like? That's what rich people do.
okay. Very frivolous, but good for you, I suppose. I'll set this one fire too, my gift.
I'd like to see you try. I paid 50 gold for.
By the end of this
For
campaign,
flavors.
you are going to have lost like 6 cloaks to fire, and your boots will be gone.
I'll just be sitting there with a cloak that's flammable around me as I'm naked.
Hella ridiculous.
Who's else
good to
close
know
when I
she
catch
did.
on fire?
She can make an item that takes somebody's life away.
If we take off your hat, like we have to put it
Yeah.
back in the same
I was just
position,
saying- I
right?
was just
Is it
gonna
that?
say
Or
it.
is it, or is it just like we have to activate the hat again?
As far as I know, you just put it
Because
back
it'd be
in
real
my
cool,
head.
like
I'm surprised you
you
don't
do
put
half
like
of
a
a
strap or
fireball.
something to like keep it on. You know?
Some days are rough when it's windy outside. And
It's
hard.
maybe
A
Jeff can
strap
help
would
you
be a
with a
good
strap.
idea.
You get a strap on.
Just basically
A little
think
buckle.
you look like
Misha
a
could
park
probably make
ranger.
a strap. Yeah, she could probably fasten a strap for you.
Bet you could make that flame-resistant strap.
Especially now we know we have somebody who's very tuned to fire.
Indeed. Black flames and all that.
Callan's just got a nice buzz going on.
Anyways, lead the way. I don't know where I'm going,
Oh,
obviously.
We're going, and I point towards the middle of the
Yeah.
entire place.
The big ass castle in the middle.
Is it a tower that they said? The lore keepers?
What would be the establishment that
When they arrive.
Shalena's in once we approach the island?
So yeah, the Lord Keepers would. Well, I mean, you'd have to get to the island.
Yes.
And then inside
We are approaching the island.
Yeah, the Lore Keepers typically stay within the king's castle because they are typical advisors to the king. So throughout the daytime, that's where they would be.
Okay.
Nighttime, they go back to their home dwellings. But yes, within the actual castle. But yeah, you guys approach. There's a long bridge, a stone bridge that connects the island to the rest of city of Redborough. The bridge is heavily guarded, as you'd imagine, with members of the militant and even some of the members of the specific Elder Crown militant that has that beautiful rose gold medal that you've seen once so far down in the Undercity. But most of you have recognized this armor as you've seen it donned by enforcers of the law across all of Thaldron. But it looks like there's sort of a line of traffic trying to enter into the city's, the King's Keep right now. There's a line of probably around 100 individuals who are going up one at a time to make their case on why they should be allowed to enter, whether it's a merchant selling fruits and pastes and all sort of different things.
This is going to be on you. Nobody else is going to be able to get us in. Maybe him.
And
I was
ours
gonna
is
say-
like waiting in line.
I was about to say, Melcroft marches up to the end of the line and stands there.
Oh, there is tension coming off of Farish. It's like, is this going to work?
Well, if I
Why would it not work?
if I had my previous visage, I would have easily been able to expedite the process. I feel like this is going to need more explaining.
Why do we need to expedite? We have to be patient like all the others.
I agree.
Is this another one of those times where I bribe the guards?
Let's wait till we get up to the front of the line. and
What do we
decide
usually
that.
do?
That may not work on the militant.
Can you not just walk up there and be like, yo, I'm a librarian, or whatever they call you guys? Lore keeper?
Well, you're not far off, but
Not wrong.
You guys
Yo,
keep the
I'm a
books?
librarian.
you're not wrong.
Let me get to them books, son.
Why are our needs more important than all these people?
What is the Dewey Decimals?
That's a very good question. See?
Well, at the end of the day, they're not, and I'm not necessarily trying to push past this crowd.
Okay. Well,
he
that's
he
good.
did say he was standing at the end of the line.
I know. I was just kind of referring to.
So, yeah, a few hours pass. The line is moving forward. It is progressing, but at a slow pace.
At some point in time, I tap the person in front of us and go, excuse me, if you wouldn't mind, why exactly do you wish to get inside the city?
Yeah, so there's a couple that both turns around back to you, and the gentleman sort of like puts his hand on like the shoulder of his the woman there beside him and says, well, we're hoping to get approved for marriage and get our citizenship combined as I assume a large majority of those of us here.
I can marry you in the name of Eratok.
I'm not sure what that means, but I appreciate the gesture. But I think we need it done in front of the lords and ladies for it to have the merit that we need. But our love is strong enough. But through the legality of it, we prefer the benefits of sharing our love with the rest of Redborough.
Their mission is much more important than ours. They have to go first.
I was just thinking to myself, that's beautiful. Honestly, it is. I'm glad we're behind you.
I'll lean to them. Have you heard the good news of Freya? Are you aware of
I let it go.
Her Majesty?
Worst nightmare.
You to claim your love. Do you follow any of the deities, or are you aware of Freya? She typically oversees the domains of
This is the
love.
fade out into the next
Affection.
scene.
I would lose my shit if Adam was in this line. Have you heard the power of Jesus Christ? Oh my God.
Oh, hour ago.
I think we've. And he looks, and she sort of nods, and he's. I think we've heard of Freya.
I would encourage you to look more into the practices of hers regarding the joining of two lives as one. I'm assuming the reason you're waiting.
They don't know Freya.
We can't wait to learn more about it. we'll read into it as soon as we can.
Congratulations, have a good time. Let's just stand behind you for another couple hours.
And you hear like a. But yeah, a few hours pass and the line dwindles, and it seems like 1 out of every 7 or 8 are actually allowed entrance, with a guard walking them up the bridge. But a few moments pass after this interaction with the gentleman in front of you, where there's a mechanical sounding crunch and just and from behind you all see this carriage, but its wheels are mechanical. Everything about this seems to be moving on its own without any sort of propulsion or pulling mechanism. It's just kind of moving. The wheels sort of have this gap in them almost for traction as it just and it just slowly moves across, and the suspension on it keeps the carriage perfectly level as it goes across, and it kind of drives over a few different bumps and things like that, and it stays level. And you notice in the street around, people sort of get down on one knee and kind of bow towards the carriage as it rolls through. And the two individuals in front of you are sort of like buzzing with excitement. And the gentleman leans back to you, Cornelius, since you had talked to him. He goes, "It's the Duchess Lenora. She's coming to visit the capital."
Well, she certainly does it in style.
I mean, you would know. Yeah, she's one of the Aztec family members. She's the daughter of the Elder Militant. So the Elder Militant is like the top ranking military officer who lives in the actual capital city of Evermere, which is down in the Puerto Terra region. Like he's one under the Elder King. And this is his daughter. So she's the Duchess of the Aztec family. And she resides and lives here in Shazera. Specifically in Redborough. And so she's visiting the King's Keep in her carriage as it just rolls along. And you see the carriage as it gets to the front of the gate. This bridge is intentionally not big enough for vehicles. So you see the carriage sort of like deflate, just and the cart door opens, and as it does, this stair mechanism just kind of flops out
almost like a tongue. It just and like lands on the ground and kind of leaves a heavy thump as it hits. And first stepping out is 2 guards in this glossy black militant armor. It's donned in the same style, but it's not that rose gold color. It has this like darker inflection. Like I said, almost gloss black, but somewhere just shy of like pitch black. It's almost like a dark like gunmetal. And then following behind is in this elegant red dress, this gown, which you would appreciate. See how you're dressed. This red gown is this black-haired woman who, she's wearing a gown, but she still has like exposed shoulders. It's fucking jacked. She like steps down and like puts her hand on the guardrail as she steps like one at a time down. Her face is like narrow and pointed. Just, you can tell she's like a fighter. Like she's a warrior, which makes sense because of her family line. But everyone's excited, and as she steps down, everyone stands up and starts cheering and says, "Praise Lenora, praise Lenora." But yeah, without any hesitation, the guards open up, let her and her 2 personal guard walk in.
As this is going on, Farrier's gonna step behind you. She's not gonna say anything, but she's gonna step behind you, and the cracks in her skin are glowing brighter. She's not saying anything, but if anybody's looking at it, she wouldn't point anything out, but if anybody notices, you're gonna notice that something's off.
Non-salute.
What are you doing?
As she walks by, I will do a very pronounced curtsy.
Yeah, you guys are still sort of in the middle of the line. She went straight to the front.
Oh, okay, well.
But no, I mean, it's a good idea. It's just to give you an idea of where she is. She didn't like stop right next to you. You guys just watched her carriage sort of drive up, and then sort of squat down. She got out right at the front of the line. But yeah, she walks up past the bridge, and you guys just kind of watch those 2 like hulking guards beside her just like walk in tandem, paralleled up the bridge to the city. And then after a few moments, the carriage just starts kind of backing up, sort of autonomously. And then about 5 minutes later, after the bridge has been cleared, they go right back to admitting and going through the process. Another 30 minutes go by before you finally reach the front. At this point, it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Did the people in front of us get through?
They did.
Aww.
They did.
I don't think I rejected, but I saw.
No, and you did hear as they walk up, because now you're right behind them. They had like an application filled out. They handed it to them. They showed them their identification. They went through all of the security checks, and the guard at the front sort of smiled at them and wished them a happy marriage and let them go through. Followed by the 2 courtesy guards walking them up. Yeah, and they wave back, all smiling at you guys.
Our top blesses you in your marriage.
I thought it was Freya. And then they just confusingly walk away. Yep, and then you get to the front, and the same gentleman who was smiling carries over that sort of jolly spirit and looks at you all and takes you all back for a moment as you're a little bit peculiar.
I was human, thank you very much.
And he reaches his hand out and says, "What can I help you with? Application for?"
Yes. I would like to request an audience with Shalane Argus of the Lore Keepers.
Oh, okay. Do you have an appointment to see Shalane?
Yes, I am.
You do? Perfect.
And he starts looking through this book, flips through the pages.
Here. And he'll produce his Lore Keeper insignia.
And he looks at it and he like reaches out his hand to take it from you.
Yeah, I'll hand it to him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. He's like, looks at it. He's like, oh. And he's one second. And he kind of waves someone over and they look at it too. And this other guy really kind of inspects it a little closer. It's almost like he's looking to see if it's fake. Like he's trying to see if this has been replicated. He's looking through.
Expiration dates on those things, are there?
It expires when I do.
Yeah. So yes. And so he's looking. He looks through it, and
I can
he's
still see a light.
and he's like, "Whoa!" It's like, "Well, I mean, it looks." You see him sort of like whispering, you know. Here you go, and he hands it back to you. He says, "This looks like a lawkeeper's insignia. Is that right?"
It is, yes.
Well, you don't quite look like a lawkeeper.
Well, my name
That's prejudice.
is okay.
No, darling, it's accurate, unfortunately.
I do not fit the visual description of Dene Velstat, but you, Shalane, anyone with the proper credentials and the means to identify it can instantly tell that this is mine and that I belong to it. This wouldn't exist if I didn't exist.
Understood.
There has been a chain of events that has led me to the situation and the physicality that I am currently in. I know that I do not resemble the individual normally associated with this particular insignia, which is why I waited in line. I did not want to ruffle anyone's feathers. I am a lorekeeper. I'm sure you and your associates can check that and find that that is true.
There's a soft shout from behind in the line. Someone yelling, "Either get in or get out!" And the soldier sort of looks up and tries to like make a recollection of who said it. And looks back down. He says, "Listen, I understand. It actually does look like she is available this afternoon, but being cautious, I believe we'd only be able to allow you as the lawkeeper in. Your friends would not have permission. I apologize. No hard feelings. I apologize you all waited, but it's difficult this time of day to allow anyone in to the
What
castle."
was your name?
Jacob.
Jacob. Jacob, I would like to inform you that this is a matter of Thaldrin's security, and this will affect perhaps you and everyone inhabiting the city. I need at least one of my associates to accompany me because,
Why is that?
as you know, the lorekeepers are in charge of identifying, containing, or destroying items that could potentially, notice I said potentially, pose a threat to the well-being of Thaldrin.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which one of you would need to accompany?
My associate and I.
I don't think that's the greatest idea we've had.
Make a persuasion check.
Would you let me in if I found out who it is that just said that? As I put down
And he says, I saw who it was. And they won't be getting it.
That's a 15.
And that was a 4. So, okay. And he looks at his associate who inspected and sort of confirmed that it was legitimate. He looks back at him and he gives him that same affirming nod. He says, well, okay, because of time, I don't have time to ask you further questions about this danger to Thaldrin, but if it is important, then we'll have you fill out the paperwork and go through security, and we'll let you go through. But mind you, there's only a few hours left for visits into King's Keep, so you'll have to be quick.
This is understandable.
And he reaches out a piece of paper, like this magical tablet that he just says, please inscribe your name, insignia, citizen credentials.
Malcroft he'll sign Danae's name and whatever sigil is associated with that, and then so the citizenship thing, does that carry over if I've been killed?
Ooh. I don't know.
Because you will recall,
That's an interesting question.
If you go and ask Shalane what Dene Velstat looks like, she will tell you that he's a frail man in his mid-50s, with a long beard and long hair. Obviously, I do not look like that.
No.
Probably maybe 5'6". I do not fit that description. It is Danae. I have been killed by some people who would pose a threat to perhaps you and everyone you know. And I'd really appreciate it if you could let me speak to Shalane, because she will be
I've already granted you access, Danae.
I feel like we're providing too much information.
Yeah, I just need you to go through the security checkpoint and be granted inside.
No citizenship credentials at the moment.
It's not required. It's just if you are a citizen, we need your credentials. There's many who visit the King's Keep who are not citizens but wish to be.
I apologize. I've never had to go through this process in this way before, so.
Well, now you get to understand what it's like for us normal people.
You just boomered your way through this process.
No, I looked it up on the Facebook, and there was a friend who commented on the picture on my wall who said. So yes, he then sort of turns the tablet over to you, Inari. Says, and for you, signature name, citizen credentials.
Okay. Just puts Inari. And that's like all there is to it.
And he looks back and says, any insignia, any surnames, any family crests?
That's it.
Okay. Let me have you step over here. And he has that one of the courtesy guards that walk up he has them sort of do a little private TSA inspection. He's like, I'm gonna need any weapons, any belongings that have any sort of the ability to kill someone inside the keep need to be
Yes.
left with.
I request that you fetch Shalane immediately, because what we need her to look at is in fact a weapon. I can leave my weapons with you, but it is a weapon that we need to present to her. I can assure you of her safety and everyone's safety here.
Remember, potential threat. Whole reason.
And might I remind you that Shalane does not like having her time wasted, and if I let her know that you're keeping a colleague of hers waiting, a friend actually, I don't think she would be terribly pleased to hear that.
Mm. You're right. It would be terrible to waste her time with something so useless. I don't think I'm gonna do that, because I don't believe you have any authority over me, sir. But I appreciate your commands, and I'd like for you to leave.
Sir,
Please.
I would please ask you to fetch Shalane.
Please.
Make a persuasion or intimidation check, whatever you're trying to do.
Can I help?
I
am saying please.
It depends on what he's trying to do. If he's trying to intimidate or persuade, I can say yes, but I need you to tell me what you're doing to help in either way.
Well, I guess which one are you doing?
I feel like I have legitimate credentials that cannot be faked, but
That's true. He let you in, but letting you in with a blade and someone who has no credentials at all is sort of the issue right now. You can go in. He's not stopping you. He's not stopping you, but trying to take the blade is a problem.
Well,
but then you commanding him to bring Shalane to you at once. He's like, you have no authority to command me. So he can let you in,
fair,
but he's not going to follow your orders. So it's more of a.
You don't have to follow.
Are you intimidating him, saying, "I actually can command you. I'm a lore keeper," or are you saying, "Listen, man, the world's ending, shit's going down. We have a blade. I need it looked at." Like, it depends on what path you're trying to take here, right? Yeah. Choose your own adventure. What are you trying to do? He's already rolled, so it really just depends on what you're doing and whether it's effective.
I probably.
I don't want to biff this and get told to fuck off. Even
I suppose it would be possible for an actual citizen escorted in, but with just the blade, nothing else.
We just need to present this blade to her. This is of utmost our importance.
I would like to take this opportunity to apologize.
Make a persuasion check.
And if anything happens, you can speak to my uncle Dovath, Caehanna of Hartmoor, and he can settle things right. What kind of is a persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably not very good.
Still helpful.
Oh, just all the helping around.
I know. This is the one thing I am good at is charisma.
10. Even 10.
A 10.
Am I still helping?
No, that was separate. That was his own because he mentioned that. I still want to know what you guys are doing. Is it
I
intimidating?
figured we'd be more persuasive. rather
It
than
sounded like
persuasive.
persuading because you apologize. So go ahead and make a persuasion check, and then Anari, go ahead and also roll.
That'll be a 19 for me.
And remember when you're helping, you use Melicroft's.
That's we're starting with a 19, but
Oh, do I add anything to it? Is that going
You
to
use
be
his
it'll be my modifier or whatever you rolled. If
Where'd you roll, baby?
So I got an 18.
Oh, geez, then that
And
would
then my
be,
modifier is plus 3.
What is yours?
so that would be a 22. I've got a plus 4, so it's 22.
So
Okay,
22.
so we're doing good.
Yeah. So as you remember, whenever we do assisted rolls, we take
Yeah.
whoever is doing the roll,
Oh, okay.
and then your assistance is more of like a flavor, like, hey, what are you doing to help? And then you just get to roll the advantage. So we're still using his stats.
Okay.
Which is good because your roll was better than his. So a 22. What are you doing to help? Like, what are you
All
saying?
I'm really doing is just like, sir, yeah, pretty much like, please.
You put on like the, like the animated like big fox eyes.
I
Like,
know, it's pretty much, think of it like that. They're like, please, we're just trying to save the world and our friends and, you know, I just also need help finding my long lost sister.
okay,
My
so
sister disappeared so long ago.
he rolled a 16, so you guys succeed. So Jacob says, okay, here's what we'll do. We're taking up time in the line. There's others that need to get in. I'm going to allow you both to enter.
Don't worry, I'm watching for you.
Thank you. I'll allow you both to enter. However, the blade must be transported by one of our guards at all times.
Agreed and heard. I must caution you that this weapon is magical in nature. I believe that it is.
It's wrapped in a whole satchel thing.
All I ask is that you do not unwrap it and handle it within the cloth that it is in. Can we agree on that? You will.
Listen, you sound very serious. I'll take your word.
Okay.
We just want to make sure you don't have it or she doesn't have it
Understood.
to create any sort of problem.
And at that point, he'll. So while I'm looking at this guy, my sword and my shield, without my hands moving, will come around and I'll pull him off and.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. He takes it. He's like, and he's like, it'll be here waiting when you come back.
Understood.
And so the rest of you watch as Melicroft and Anari are escorted in. Also, any other blades you have. Anari, I think you mainly use your claws, but still, like,
Yeah, I don't have
if any other like sort of weaponry, obviously your armor is still on there.
Oh,
like
yeah.
your shield would be taken away.
I am.
And you're escorted by a guard who is typically doing the courtesy guard, and then an additional guard holding the blade wrapped up, the dagger wrapped up. And as you go, he's like, he overheard you saying, "This is super dangerous, magical, don't touch it." And so he's like, you see the guard like terrified, like shitting his pants, like carrying this blade. And you hear him like multiple times start to want to ask questions, but he knows he's not allowed to. So he starts to what if? And he keeps like doing that all the entire bridge walk. But eventually you get over. The portcullis gate opens. You get inside.
Only bracket match guys.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yes,
everyone.
we will reunite with you in just a little bit.
Yeah, I assume you say that before you.
Yeah.
Before they walk away, I'm gonna tap Melicroft and say, "Where's the library?"
Within the.
It's inside the circle. It's inside the King's Keep. Like, are you looking for the royal library? Like
Whatever he was saying that was on the island.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's inside.
The library is inside the keep. Allow me to re-establish my connection with Shalane, and then I believe I will be able to get us audience in the library. But just trust me on this. Let me take care of this first, and then we will address that.
We sat in line for hours, Callan. You neither high, me neither drunk, and we've got nothing for
I'm
it.
at the bar.
He's
Are
at
you
the
still
bar.
there?
He's at the bar.
I'm gonna go back to Callan.
Callan man is like,
Okay, so
Yeah, I'd like to imagine that by the time you guys finally get back, Callan has now like created like a group of people like listening to him tell his tales, and he's like at the table just like smoking and just like telling these stories of what happened in the mountains. And there's just like people there like, whoa. And then you fought all of them?
Single-handedly with my friends.
And you had the bartender bring you a full deer? Sick, bro.
You got how tall again?
I mean, it was crazy.
But yeah, so you guys go back to Matchsticks and hang out.
I complained to Callan.
Yeah, you complain to Callan just to how unfair it is.
My friend Cornelius is here to buy us drinks.
That is not the right. You know what? I've spent 5 hours in a queue. Fuck it.
But the two of you enter into the royal castle.
I'll wave at y'all saying, sorry y'all weren't invited.
There's a freshness to the air inside the building, and there's a few dozen different workers going about this main great hall. But you are quickly escorted up one of the staircases into one of the sort of erected towers that are attached on the, I would say, the western side of the main like castle part of the keep. Essentially, it looks like it would go all the way up, almost like an astrology tower. When you arrive at the door of Shalane, before you knock, you hear the door open, and you see Cody. I don't know if you had any sort of like description of what you wanted Shalane to look like.
No, whatever. You're free for whatever.
So, you see a sort of mid, like average height elven woman, who still sort of has the like youthful qualities to her, but she's definitely in her elven life where she's a few centuries old, probably like in their 400 or 500 year olds range. She looks at both of you and the guard, puzzled. And what are you doing here? What can I do for you?
Melicroft will raise his insignia and in Draconic say to her, bound by knowing.
And just confused, she steps closer, really quickly, swiftly, looks at the insignia, and in Draconic says, Danae?
It is me.
And Inari, you sort of look at this older elven woman in this white sort of like knowledge, like what would you call them, like robes. Yeah, there's like a name for it, but like just sort of the like scholastic robes, sort of looking. Yeah, and you hear her growl something in Draconic back at Melicroft.
When she asks if it's Danae, Melicroft will pull down the part of his like cloak that's up near his chin, and on the inside of it, which nobody else would have seen because he hadn't showed it to anyone, but there are, on the inside of his robes that he wore when he was alive, there were patches that were made by his children and his wife. That like he told everyone, he was like, "Look, my kids made this," and that's on the inside of the scarf section of it, and he will like pull that down and show her.
Yeah. So Inari, after you hear her growl something in Draconic back at Melicroft, she then looks over at you and looks back at Melicroft and says, Danae, what is going on? Why are you dressed in such ridiculous armor?
Can we speak inside?
Oh, yes. Come in, please.
Okay.
And she waves you and the guards inside. The guard comes in and just sets the blade down on the table. And he says, Ma'am, don't touch.
I'll look at him and go, good job. Thank you.
He like flinches. We're good. We're okay.
What is this? What is...
Well, I had
Explain.
Yes, I had
Did you take a... Are you wearing a belt of giant strength and get large? What?
Simply put, I was killed. But listen, I have a prepared statement. This shell has its drawbacks and its limitations. I can speak to you as my true self, but only for a brief moment. So I have written something down that I would like to present to you. It'll come out much faster that way, and then we can go from there. Does that sound agreeable?
This all sounds a bit odd, but I mean, if that's the best way to communicate, then...
If there's a chair, I'm just gonna okay. And,
Just,
sit down, just prepared for the presentation. Go ahead, Malcolm.
So yeah, this isn't the Mellowcroft's voice is not Danae's voice. And you sitting in the chair will see his eyes kind of flicker for a second, and then there's that kind of dull whirring of gears whenever he's thinking, and that starts to pick up pace to the point where it goes from a word like a hum, there's a tone to it. And then maybe 2 or 3 other tones start happening in junction with it, where it's almost creating a chord or something. There's definitely notes happening, and then the eyes will flicker and dilate out from the center, so it looks like human eyes. And then he'll begin with, "Okay, I can only do this for a brief moment. I haven't done it in some time, so bear with me. Shalane, it is I, Danae Velstadt. This insignia is authentic. I know you can tell it is real. All low keepers can. I am able to uncover the fame that Oros told us about. I was murdered there at the foot of the armor I now inhabit. Freya has granted me a new life to forgive those who have trespassed against her, but also, I believe, to save Faldrin. In my traveling company is a Kitsune woman whose race we believed extinct. She follows Aratok, whom I encountered now firsthand. In her back was the Night Stalker's blade, a cursed relic housing the sentient entity of some sort. I believe this weapon is a small indication of a great upset in society, a precursor of the woes to come. We need your help to uncover a way to dispose of this cursed weapon. In direction as to how we can learn more of Inari's past and her role in this long-forgotten goddess's sudden resurgence of activity." I thought that was going to last the whole time. "All of my companions and I have witnessed a vision of her leading us somewhere for some important reason.
At this point, I'm gonna let the disguise go away so I look like a fox.
It was riddled with imagery I do not recognize. I hope you can find a way to help us." And that was Danae's actually, she would have heard him prattling like that in life all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And then I end it with, "Please."
Manners.
I'm sorry, and please.
All about the manners.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You watch her expression falter for a moment, where her curiosity was piqued, and then just there was a general understanding. She says,
That isn't different.
Indeed it is.
Not seen this before.
Um,
This blade that you rambled on about, the Night Stalker blade.
Yes.
Is that...
It is, yes. I'll gesture towards the bundle.
and she looks at the guard and says, "You're free to leave." And the guard looks at the rest of you confused at the mixed orders that he's been given, and he says, "But ma'am, I was told that I must." And she's like, No. You've been told to leave." And he just nods and walks out the door, and she looks back at you and Inari and says,
Okay, now you must tell me everything.
Well, the long story short, what has it been, about 4 years now? Oros told us, you were with me when he told me about the underground fane that he heard word about. Me and my team excavated it, we all the way to the floor, several levels underground.
We got to the bottom. At the bottom was this suit of armor, another suit of armor, and tons of markings and inscriptions having to do with centuries old things having to do with Freya. I wasn't able to really get a bead on many of them. The Thane was stormed by a group of cultists with a very particular insignia. I will draw that for you. I was murdered at the foot of the armor that I am now in. This is my old robe and the robes of my colleagues. I couldn't leave them behind, but I died in Freya. Next thing I know, I heard her voice and I woke up in this suit of armor. So this is my body, a shell? I don't know. This is the first time encountering this as well.
Well, I would say all of our bodies are shells. They're just there to harness our soul.
Yeah.
So, not much has changed, except that, well, you're taller and probably stronger and
significantly more so, yes.
a bit less mortal.
Yes, but with that, the drawbacks are I am still me, deep inside of this shell. Danae is still present, but it's almost as if trying to view a play through a hole in a wall. I'm still all there, but trying to convey that, trying to share the ideas and the thoughts that I have. It's like trying to pour a lake through a funnel. I can't recall things at the right times, and then that night when I'm meditating or praying, I can recall in perfect detail things, and the moment I go to speak them, it's like a dream. I wake up, I can't say the things, I forget things, I don't know what the names of things are. I use words that I don't even know the meaning of half the time. And in the moment that I quit interacting, when this shell stops moving, I am there, I am present, and all of my thoughts and feelings and emotions come back to me. It's quite cumbersome. So Danae is still present, although the shell that is Melicroft cannot adequately express all that Danae has to offer. But in our current moment, the Night Stalker's blade, what do you recall about that? Because I could go inert right now.
Let me see this blade.
And I'll slowly, as she says that, like unwrap it without ever touching it, just to present it and just be like,
make a dexterity check.
Okay. Where is that? Thanks. 13.
Yeah, you're able to unwrap it slowly. There's a couple moments where like your hands are a bit shaky, but you're able to unwrap it. And once it's open and exposed,
Do not touch.
The air in the room just gets heavier. You can just tell that there's now another presence in the room. And yeah, Shalane looks at it, inspects it. Watching you being careful to not touch it, understands the common sense of what to do and what not to do here. She looks back. Sentient, yes.
Yes.
Do you know the being trapped inside?
It has an association with the goddess Eratok, whom Inari worships.
Does it? Curious.
It is sentient, highly manipulative. It seems to have an effect of longing and bloodthirst.
Oh, yes, they always do.
I can't. I would be able to diagnose this thing in a second, but like I said, I don't have my old faculties. At least not while I'm operating this shell. I can't. My mind isn't what it should be.
Have you all touched it?
Yes, unfortunately. I've touched it as recently as last night. And it was only through being incapacitated several times and an extraordinary harnessing of will that I was able to distance myself from its clutches.
And what was the name of this blade? Something...
We were told the Night Stalker's blade.
Or my sister's blade.
Your sister's blade? And who is your sister?
Akari.
Huh. You've all experienced a few challenging and peculiar events. But during Danae's rambling, you'd mentioned a shared vision.
Yes.
Does that have to do with the blade? Or is that something different entirely?
Well, I believe it's connected to the blade only in that they both have to do with Inari. I wouldn't rule out them all being pieces to a larger puzzle, though at the moment they remain disconnected. But I felt like it was worth mentioning.
I know Danae's still in there somewhere, but it feels connected, doesn't it?
It does.
I do love a good problem.
Come again?
I love a good problem. I like a challenge, but this one's tricky.
Are you familiar with this blade?
Only
How
rumor.
come?
Only rumor. The Night Stalker and... I mean... Back when I was a child, they talked about the Night Stalker, but... Honestly, those sort of faded away a long time ago. This was hundreds of years ago, of course, but... Yeah, they'd mentioned...
Particular type of being, a creature perhaps?
Oh, absolutely. Very powerful.
You'd have to forgive me. I'm having trouble recalling. Yeah.
Well, if my memory does me correct, I believe he had a name. He was a mortal being at some point. What was that name?
Was he a Shazera?
Well, if rumors were true, then he was something of a Shazera. Oh.
Does the name Corey jog any memories?
Always the X. She's going along with it.
Oh. Well, of course, but we don't typically speak that name here.
Alright, forgive me.
And you see both of her eyes just shoot wide open. Let's get this blade out of here.
Where do we take it? What do we do with it? Who can we contact?
How do we destroy it?
Not destroy it, but you must get this blade out of here. Mellacroft, Danae, I know you're in there. Think. What did Corey use to kill his father? They say his mind went mad, Danae. I think this blade had something to do with it.
I would not be shocked
It
if
must. You said you touched it last night. Are you one of the influences? Is that why you brought this here?
No.
Both of you.
Oh, I'm not under the influence.
This blade wants to kill Shazera families.
If I were under the influence, I wouldn't be able to part with it, let alone let anyone else handle it. It creates a severe compulsion in the user to never let it out of your grasp, and in fact punishes those who do let it out of their grasp. I mean, you knew this person. I'm happy to get this blade out of here, but I would appreciate some recommendations as to where to take it. If destroying is out of the option, what options for containment do we have?
I think a better question to ask is why you have it. How did you come into possession of this?
Creak.
My sisters stabbed me in the back, with lack of a better word for it.
Choose another Kitsune, correct?
Yeah,
Another like
she's
you.
my twin.
I figured you were all extinct. Obviously, I was wrong. But
Apparently, I'm quite old, even though.
I believe Cornelius said something to the tune of 800 years old.
well, that would make sense. There hasn't been a Kitsune reported in centuries, so I mean.
I've only ever read of them in books. So.
Me too. And yet,
I'll take a picture.
I don't know what that means.
He presses his forehead and
what to do with it?
Do you know how to remove curse or know someone who can?
Boros might be able to.
And I can't recall. Is he still in Heartmoor? I haven't made contact with anyone from my previous life since I died. It's only just now with this thing turning up in my vicinity that I feel like I need to reforge some old connections and figure out what to do with this.
We assumed you had passed. Oros took over as the chief historian, and I believe he's staying at in Mythfrost.
Okay.
But I don't know. We don't keep in touch because, well, we don't have too much in common anymore. But I assume with some of the political changes on the horizon, the Lawkeepers will need to become peacekeepers with the change in the regime when that happens. But I've been through all this before. It's not. It's just a few weeks of mitigation and playing nice in politics. But this blade needs to get out of this castle.
Just instantly.
There are royals here.
Okay.
If this blade sniffs them out, you've already failed its to resist once. I can't guarantee you or someone else in this castle won't also fail.
I will never touch that blade again. However, the Baronistos, Morris put out a contract for this. And I brought it to you first because I don't know if he has nefarious purposes or, as you said, he might have some kind of ulterior motive for requesting this item be returned to him. Or brought to him.
Why would some petty mercenary care about such a powerful blade?
And I cannot help but think that the reason he's asking for it is he's fully aware of what it's capable of.
Or someone asked him to get it for him.
That too. I don't feel like
but today was so dreadful until you showed up. Now there's so much to think about.
And I've got associates of mine barking about 1,000 gold for this thing's being donated to the Baronistos, and I feel like the well-being of Thaldrin potentially is worth quite a bit more than 1,000 gold.
That blade is probably worth closer to 100,000 gold. Not that you should ever sell it. No.
That is not my intention at all. My intention is to seal it away or exercise whatever thing is
wherever
in it.
It was for the last 800 years is where it should have stayed.
Yeah, that's not quite an option because that's my back.
I'm not saying inside you, darling. I'm saying where it was. Whatever kept it from influencing others is the safest place for it to be. But if that has been found, then maybe it's not so safe anymore.
Those are my thoughts.
I don't know if I can help with discovering a safe place for it, but if I know anything about the Night Stalker, he was a powerful elf. I believe. A man. He had a different name, but he went by the Night Stalker.
An elfin man.
He,
Maybe we can do some research in the library.
Speaking of which,
oh, never mind. It was you.
Oh, okay.
You're the one who. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. You're not there.
Speaking
You're
of
not
the
there.
library,
We'll relay.
I was wondering, I'm sure reestablishing my citizenship is nigh impossible in this shell. But could we perhaps would we be able to peruse the library at some point? I'm not saying right this moment. I know daylight's growing short. I'm not trying to keep anyone up.
Anari, you watch her like kind of chuckle as he says that, and she just walks over and just kind of goes, and as she does, you can see this glowing, shimmering sort of like red aura over him for a moment, and it fades. She says, "Look at that, you're a citizen again."
Huh.
Don't you miss having power, darling? Can't wait to get you back.
I want to do the same thing.
Nothing happened.
Can I have citizenship?
Where are you from?
You know, hop in and skip away.
Are you familiar with Carson's Keep?
I mean, no, I've never been.
Its location.
Yeah, I've never been, but I know it's along the road towards the forest.
There was a Kitsune dwelling there to the tune of 800 years ago. That is quite literally where she's from.
I mean, that's fantastic. Do you have any skills or labors that provide to the well-being and growth of Redborough, by any chance?
Sure. I have very ancient knowledge of the histories from 800 years ago.
So do we.
So I can.
We are literally the
verify
lore-keepers.
those
Inari, are you familiar with the concept of bureaucracy? I believe there are ways to grant you citizenship. I believe the reason I was able to have mine established so easily is that I spent nearly my entire life as one. It's a tricky and a very long-winded game to just gain citizenship. You know who would love.
I can't just say please.
Oh, darling, no. And honestly, it's not my decision.
But you just waved and did it.
Danae is
She
peer.
didn't give me something I didn't already technically have.
Exactly. He's deserving. He's just. It's essentially it's a marking. It's a spell.
I do those.
You don't do this one.
Well, no, that's true.
And that's okay. You can learn, and you can absolutely gain your citizenship. But
Perfect.
I guess my question to you would be, why do you want it? Does it benefit you to be a citizen of the realm?
I don't know.
It
Just seems like everybody wants this for
It
some
can
reason.
be as much of a headache as it is a blessing. It's not all sunshine and roses.
It's definitely more sunshine than it is headache. But the reason I ask is that it doesn't improve your value of life. It doesn't make you any better of a person. It just maybe affords some additional opportunities if you wish to pursue them, whether that's additional schooling and learning, or joining the militant, or creating or starting your own business. If you have no desires for any of those, then continue to be who you are, and you don't need to be a citizen to do so.
Okay. I just wanted to go to the library.
Well, then,
Oh, you do actually need to be a citizen for that. But you
Are we not allowed to-
You can join now that
Oh, you
Danae
can let me
is.
in.
Yes, of course.
Oh.
I was going to say, have the rules changed, or can a citizen still accompany a resident or non-citizen? Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, well, then we're fine. Thank you.
We just vandalism is something we take very seriously here in the city. So,
Exceptionally so.
and so,
I
unfortunately,
completely agree.
unfortunately, non-citizens seem to not care for things that are nicer than what they typically can afford, and so they break it out of spite.
How devastating.
We agree.
As
Preservation is something I take very seriously as a lore keeper.
as witty as Inari can be, she actually does have a great deal of respect and modicum. So,
Thank you.
not that I necessarily need to vouch, but at the current moment, in order to not spend any more of your time than I need to at the moment, I know it's been a long day. I do not wish to I do not wish to give this item to Morris, and I don't believe that any good is going to come of that.
Yeah, it's already wrapped up, so you know.
There's a knock at the door.
No, I'll just put it
Shalane
back in my
looks
bag.
at the rest at you two and says, "I wasn't expecting any other appointments this evening. I wasn't expecting you, to be fair."
So I put it in my bag.
Yeah, I was.
And Shalane goes and opens the door, and you guys who are standing, I guess, inside the actual room, you watch her open the door and then immediately kneel. And she says, "Lady Lenora."
As soon as Shalane kneels, of course I will kneel. And I'm gonna to Inari
And I'm like, if they see, they're gonna see a slight delay, like,
You see the similar black armored guards step in and sort of assess the room. They see you, and then they sort of stand in front, and from behind you see that similar red gown and black-haired woman walk through, and Lenora Aztec looks around the room and sees Shalane and says, "I don't believe we've spoken in some time, Lady Shalane. I did not know you had guests. Should I come back?"
we can leave.
And one of the guards snap in your direction, and Shalane looks back instantly and says, "Darling, don't. It's rude to speak when you're not being spoken to." And Danae, or Melicroft, who is now glowing red, sees everyone else who walks in this is also glowing red. Mm-hmm. You see Lenora is bursting with this bright red energy. Similar, actually, to what you see out of the Lore Keeper Shalane. Mm-hmm. Inari has no glow. And when she says that, the guards snap in her direction and reach for their blades.
To the guard, not to Lenora, because I know she's not well, I guess I'm still kneeling, by the way. Even though I have the red glow. To the guards, I represent her. I vouch for her. And I'll produce my Lore Keeper insignia as well.
Yeah.
And I'll stand at full height.
Yep. Lenora looks around and sees the two of you and says, kind of chuckles at the situation. She says, "Now, there's no need for that. We're perfectly capable handling ourselves, isn't that right? What's your name?"
Inari, madam.
This is Inari, madam, and I believe the insignia was for Danae.
Yes. There has been a change in circumstances as to my appearance.
It's unimportant. What brings you to the tower at this particular time of day?
It has been some time since I had caught up with an old friend, and I sought her advice on some personal matters in my life going on right now. It has been some time since I had sought out her counsel.
And you brought gifts for her, I assume?
Yes, however, my associates that were bearing those gifts were not allowed inside.
Just the one, then?
I don't believe I know about what you're speaking.
A certain shiny present. And her eyes sort of glare towards Inari. And then down at your bag. And back at you.
I don't know if I can talk.
I wouldn't speak directly to her. I have no gifts, only my own possessions at current. If you two have business to discuss, I can make myself scarce.
Now, why do you think I would show up? To speak with you, just to have you leave. You don't think I didn't feel the presence of a certain object? Its power doesn't go unnoticed in a place like this.
And what is this particular gift worth to you?
I believe it's worth the safety of the realm. In the wrong hands, it can be quite dangerous.
That is exactly my concern with it.
Yet it sits in the hands of a non-citizen in the King's Keep.
She is maintaining possession of the item at my council.
She is maintaining possession of her life at my council.
Understood. How do we resolve the situation we find ourselves in?
Hand over the blade. I'd be happy to absolve you from any sort of further trouble. But a blade that has commonly committed regicide does not belong in this castle.
Tell her we'll take it out of the said castle.
Our plans are to remove and seal away this item. I believe, however, the situation I find myself in, that it is highly encouraged that I allow you to do the disposing of said item.
I would also agree. You just see her hand sort of open up. That'd be a dear. Now she looks towards Inari. Please hand over the blade.
I'm gonna look at Shalane. What is Shalane's
She
expression?
looks terrified. She looks terrified because she doesn't know why Lenora wants it. And so she's also looks terrified because she doesn't want to go against royalty.
Inari.
This is a bad idea.
Inari.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to hand her the dagger. Inari, you and I don't leave this room, and none of the people that everyone we know, they know, we know, if that makes sense. If any of us are going to see another sunrise, give her the dagger.
Can you make me one promise? Can you not stab anybody with it?
I think that's exactly why I'm taking the dagger away from you. To be polite. We don't know you. And you've brought an extremely dangerous item.
I brought an extremely dangerous item on.
And yet she holds it in my presence and has still not handed it over.
Inari.
Okay. As I slowly reach to grab it, all hands up, slowly going for the dagger, no harm intentions. Going to pick up the sack. I suggest you don't touch the dagger. We have noticed that when people touch it, outside of myself,
Makes them go mad and
yeah,
kill
that's
people.
why I'm holding it, because I have not gone mad.
And she just reaches out and grabs
Slowly
she grabs the cloth obviously around the
Yeah.
dagger, but just fearlessly just grabs it
Lenora, I have one request.
and puts it in her bag, which seems to disappear as she puts it in.
I know that I am of no station to make requests of royalty.
You're a lawkeeper, aren't you, sir?
I am, and yet I still
So your
resist.
advice is very well respected, so please advise me.
The associates that I've been working with, this is going to seem such a paltry matter in the face of the destiny of Thaldrin, but Can you send word to Morris that the item has been given to a member of royalty and that compensation for the contract should be made out to the Three Strikes? I understand that this is so beneath your station.
No, I respect that. Well, considering I'm the one who asked Morris to find it, I'd say that job well done. And she says, go and see Morris. You'll be compensated.
Yes, ma'am.
Your friend will be as well, for being cooperative.
It would appear that you understand the workings and the machinations of this blade.
It will be taken care of. My family has stakes in it being taken care of, as you can imagine.
Yes, ma'am.
We would like to sit on the Elder Throne. And I believe we have a good chance to do so after Gerald. This blade being out there could mean we don't get that chance.
I understand.
So yes, you'll be compensated very well. Whatever it is Morris was going to pay. No problem. You may have just very well saved a future king or future elder king.
Yes.
I think we're done here.
I believe we are too.
I believe you are three, and she sort of does like a military step and sort of twists and turns, and the two guards like block her exit as she just hear little stiletto heels just down the hallway, and the door slams closed a lot harder than it needed to be. Trying to show like his bravado as the guy closes the door, and you just hear like a deep like exhale from Shalane. Just well, that solves that problem, doesn't it?
I think that went well.
Oh my goodness.
Honestly, that literally went as well as that possibly could have gone.
You'll
Lenora,
keep thinking I'm not very good at talking to people, but I'm doing quite well.
You are very brave, young lady.
Or ignorant.
I was going to say it's
Or ignorant as well. You were to have the guts to interrupt a duchess as a non-citizen, not even a resident. Darling, you
Still learning.
you did exceptionally well.
Thank you.
And at that point, we'll go ahead and take a break because I have to use the restroom.
I do too.
Me too. I know this whole time, like, man, I can't pee.
Yep. We're gonna pause real quick and be right
This
back.
whole time.
Okay.
I'm glad they got
All right,
the
and we're
dagger.
back. We're back. Holy shit! What a break. So we're back in the tower. Shalane, Melicroft, and Inari. Is there anything else you guys want to do up here, or should we like fast forward back to when you guys get back with?
I would like to have one. Say my adieus to Shalane. I'll see her again. I would like to have one interaction on my way out of the keep.
Okay.
Okay. As we're walking out the gate that we came in, unless there's anything else you want to
No, I'm fine.
We're walking out the gate that came in. I'm like, Jacob, is Jacob still here?
Who are you talking to? Or just like at the gate, like at the end of the
gate
bridge?
on my way out.
At the end of the bridge?
Wherever, right when we came in,
Yeah, okay.
collecting my, gear and stuff like that.
Yeah, Jacob is still there.
So I would, Jacob, are you still, you? Yes. Hi.
Hello.
I remember us having sort of intense exchange earlier about concerning citizenship or rank or something like that.
Sure.
Maybe bossing you around or something like that.
He doesn't know his manners.
It's okay.
I would like to apologize to you about the way that I conducted myself earlier. And I do hope that you can forgive me. Would you like a small token of gold or something like that to make
No, absolutely not. It's part of it's honestly it's part of the job. People don't like being turned away. I get called all sort of names. I get people treating me way worse than you did, sir. We're okay. I'm excited to go home. Enjoy the weekend before the Harvest Festival next week.
Well,
Please remember me next time.
Oh, sure, absolutely. I'll keep a note. What was your name?
I wrote it down on the paper. You don't even remember.
I've had thousands of people come through today. Just as a quick reminder, and I'll store it in the old think tank.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. My name's Bob.
And how do you spell that?
B-O-B.
I can remember that.
Bob.
All right, Bob. And Danae, was it?
yes. Yes.
That's what you wrote down, right?
That is, yeah.
Okay.
Once again, Jacob, I thank you for your time and doing the hard work that you do every day at the castle. I bid you a good day. And I'm like leaning on top of him the whole time.
Yeah, there's like no more line because like the visiting hours are done, so like he's just sort of finishing up his day of work there. So yeah, cool. Yeah, no hard feelings from Jacob.
That's it. I guess we'll go back.
Just in case Jacob was pissed, he's like, I can't have that. Melicroft's good name can't be dragged through the dirt up top.
So you get randomly stabbed by a guard 3 years down the line.
You never
said sorry.
At the very end of the campaign, the final session as we're like doing our like wrap up. There's one guard cloaked in black. Pulls out a
It's fucking Jacob.
Remember me, Danae?
Hey, you know what?
And your
You
friend
might not
Bob.
know. You never know. They're evil big bad people, and he's on their side. He might be like, "I won't hurt Melcroft." He said sorry.
There's also a good chance that because you've had this interaction, Jacob just keeps showing up everywhere. It's good to make friends. Whenever I find an NPC I like to play.
The chillest guard who's kind of fed up with his job, Jacob.
Yeah, like real easily turned to the dark side.
Can we come in the library? Fuck, I don't care yet.
Maybe we don't have to wait in line anymore.
Share a nice joint with them the next time I'm there.
Okay, so you guys finish up there at the front of the gate to the King's Keep and go back through town to where Matchsticks is. As you guys are traveling back, just the two of you, everyone in the pub. What have y'all been up to? Just fill me in. What's been going on for the last 6 hours in this pub?
If there's any dice or card games, you see Cornelius disappear and start to gamble.
Oh shit. There absolutely are dice and card games.
He knows that Callan's going to enjoy his take. And he probably at this point around Cornelius would be like, I'm going to go have fun, which you know is code for I do dice, so I do cards. Which you may or may not have to get involved in later, but hopefully not if I'm on the up and up.
Just win, and then it makes it easy.
It's not that easy. There's the dice are either with you and you wouldn't understand.
If they're not with you, you walk away.
But there's only one face that's ever with you, and all the rest of them are against you. You just have to convince them to be right.
Or you just walk away.
So there's a couple of different kind of games that have brewed up as they typically do. One seems to be a kind of a dice game that people seem to be like throwing down money, rolling dice, and then every once in a while you hear like an eruption of cheer. And then there's another game that seems a little bit more card based, where it seems like they're like playing against like a single dealer who is familiar to you as the little gnome woman who introduced Callan to the table a little while ago.
Well, I'll lean more towards the dice at the moment.
Okay.
I was trying to remember. I'm trying to look at the Baldwin pastime thing.
Yeah. So there's a game called Jip, and as you sit and watch this game, you notice that people will put up their money and they roll 2 die. If that number adds up to either 12 or 7, they win 4 times the amount of money that they put up. If it doesn't, it just goes into a pot that goes back towards whoever they played against or the house. And so every once in a while, that big eruption is from someone rolling one of those, combination of numbers. What?
I just rolled die to see what I got. I got a 7.
And that's why they start cheering.
Yeah.
But that harp is still sort of playing in the background. At this time, it's like a little bit more lively, but not much. It seems to continue to grow in excitement as the night goes on, especially being that
There's 2 women in the facility now.
well, this is technically like a weekend, so this is a star day, so this is like essentially Saturday. So it is sort of like it's gonna liven up as the night goes on, as payouts from the Baronistas come over and spend all of their freshly earned coin. It just goes right back into the Baronistas because they own the bar. So it's a beautiful circle. But who's all playing the dice game?
I'm not playing the dice game.
I'm playing. I'm going to try and play a different game. So everyone knows.
I'll probably play a few rounds. He's been there hours, so.
Yeah. Anyone else playing? So you two aren't here yet. You're just still walking all the way back.
I'll try and keep him tame.
Yeah, just be careful.
Okay.
You playing?
We just got
Drinking.
Drinking is your game. Drinking is my game of
Let's
choice.
wait for your smoking.
I win every time.
I win. That's cool.
Ferry, are you playing?
I would probably just watch them, like, amused, but, like, funny disapproving.
Okay. Well, as
You rascal.
you just get judgment thrown at you from Varia. I need both of you will actually roll.
I probably, like, when Callan eventually came over, I
Until
was
I hear
like,
that name.
okay, what if she put the limit on me?
Well, you guys, I'll trust you guys can like spectate people around, make sure that the dice are honest here. But
Only 10 gold.
before
roll.
so
No.
before you roll, place your wager.
What is there, minimum?
No, 1 gold would be the minimum.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, maybe if I see like an average somebody goes for, I'll put like the same as the average.
Yeah, you see it, anywhere from 5 to 10 gold on average.
I'll put the 5 down and be like, at least I get 2 chances of playing the game.
So yeah, 5 would pay out 20 gold.
I will. I'll put out 2.
2 would pay out 8 gold. 5. So you lose that 5 gold.
Oh. 6.
6. So
So
you lose
close.
that. You lose that 2.
Yeah.
Alright, another 5. 9.
9.
I'll do another 2.
Lose the 2.
Oh, another 6.
So close.
How about this? We stop playing with small potatoes, but we maybe done this for like 5 or 10 minutes. But like, if we win, we'll keep playing. If we lose, we'll just drink or something. I'll put 50 down.
50 gold.
I'll wait for you to roll. I'll say, don't hold on, that chief. I'm trying to get it down. I've already lost the 15, so they're 10.
10.
I'm gonna turn around and look at boss and like,
Don't.
That's an 8. So fortune doesn't favor.
Oh, so close.
I will put 5.
I was rooting for you there. Yeah.
6.
Oh my gosh.
If rolling 6s is what I needed, I'm on a winning streak.
Straight 6s.
How much did Melicroft give me again?
You spent it all on your
Kate.
Damn, that means I'm gonna have to make it back. Which means I have to spend another 50 to get out the 200. Okay, yes.
my God.
I'll have to do another 50. Okay, well that's a 5, so that didn't work either.
Understanding why the game is called Jip now. Do you understand why the game is called Jip now?
Number you get
It
it's 2
is.
dice, but 12 is also a difficult time.
Well,
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're done.
We need
Caehanna. The card game that you see her playing or dealing out, essentially very similar to blackjack. So the way this game works, just for the way that we'll play it, since we're not actually going to use cards, you'll essentially roll 2d10. And after that, well, you'll place a wager, and you'll roll your 2d10. If you roll a perfect 20, then that's blackjack, and you're paid out 2 to 1. Or sorry, you're paid out 4 to 1. If your numbers go over 20, then you bust, which you can't do on your first roll. But if you decide to take a second hit, because you're trying to get closer to 20 than the dealer, then you can potentially bust and get nothing. If your numbers beat the dealer, then you get paid 2 to 1 whatever you wagered, just like blackjack. The dealer just has to take an extra 1d10 roll on 15 and up, or 15 and under. Sorry. So, what do you care to wager?
I'll do 5 gold.
5 gold.
I'd just like to say I do 15 more gold pieces. And I got a 7.
Oh!
45! I get 60 back this time.
60, yeah, plan 4, yeah. So you got 60 back. There you go.
And I'll just be like, okay, I got something back, and when we turn in that dagger, we're gonna get more money.
Well, you know what?
I'd say drink some
actually,
meat, but Pal, I
we
just
are gonna
lost
get our
120
money's
gold
worth,
pieces.
so.
And you, the bolo hat wearing guy Maker walks over and gives you a free drink.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
wants to come
for the big spender.
I do want to say, as I walked into the bar, I go straight to the bartender. He was like, "Hi, sir, I'm here to consume." That's what it is.
Here to consume. Yeah. So he gives you some water.
No idea.
It's very
well.
Yeah, so he'll get you.
Yeah.
She paid 5 gold to use the bathroom.
That I was like, you don't
I'm sorry, you said
Here?
she what? Spent 5 gold to take those.
Yeah. She didn't even get a drink.
And you worry about me
I just
spending
drank it.
money.
I just
How much?
I won 60.
I'm assuming.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll.
8 and a 6.
14.
14.
The dealer is showing 12.
Dealer's gonna.
Yeah.
Dice, that's crazy.
14.
Well, you're playing blackjack, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, what did you wager? You didn't tell me.
5 gold.
5? Okay.
Yeah.
And you always roll a d10.
Yep.
Yeah. Level 2.
The odds are in your favor, 7 or lower. But
I'm gonna take a hit.
It's 6 or lower, by the way. 20 is the number.
oh, 20 is enough.
So do I roll both dice again or just
Just
one?
one. Just one die. You need a 6 or under.
5.
5! 19! Okay. Dealer is going to roll. He has 12, so he needs an 8 to win, a 7 to push, and it's a 3. So, wait, that puts him at 15. He has to hit again. That's a 4, 19.
Oh.
So,
Damn.
you don't lose,
No,
but
it's
it's
fine.
pushed. I feel like I should roll these like over there while I'm doing this so you guys can see it too.
It would be worth it.
But yeah, it's a push. You want to play again?
Yeah, so again.
Does anyone else want to wager on this game while we go?
Oh, fuck it, why not?
I'll do
Look
it.
up against how the cards are they better than the horse dice? It's another because I might have gone to that table too.
That's why it isn't too strong.
All right. What's your wager?
Let's see.
It's 2 to 1
Before I get to
payouts?
4 to 1. Yeah, 2 to 1 payout just for winning. 4 to 1 if you hit in 20.
Okay.
Or like a blackjack. So on your first 2 rolls.
I'll do another 15 because that was a
15?
So 15.
Why are y'all giving him money?
2. And then 5 again.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay. Everyone roll.
The citizenship.
Was it 2 dice?
Yep. 2d10. 2d10.
14.
18.
You rolled a 4?
2 and 2.
And the dealer shows 15. So dealer has to hit on 15. So
Do you want to work with me
I
first?
assume you're gonna hit.
Yes, sir. A 5, so that's a 9.
I'm
Probably
safe.
still want to hit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're so dumb.
Ooh, 9 is 18.
18.
So I'm gonna stay there.
Staying at 18.
Stay with a 14.
14. Dealer needs a 5 or under. 3. 18. That wins. So it'll take you 2.
That's alright.
I'll parlay that 15 into
Well, they lost
Might
10
be
gold.
worth to stop at this point.
Sometimes you
You're
hear a
behind.
voice that tells you to stop, but you just have to push through.
Yeah, the bolo hat guy is now coming over to this table, dropping off drinks. Here you go. Here you go. Consume.
He's a smart man.
And there's like a plate of nachos that comes out too. On the house, of course.
Here's your oxygen tube, sir.
One more time.
Yeah, I'll do 2. Something.
Yep, let's
15,
go.
another 5. Are you going up?
I'll go to 10.
Go to 10. Yeah, you've technically just pushed twice. So you haven't spent any money.
Well, I
No, not you.
Alright, go ahead.
did.
Oh, it's a 6.
6. What did you get?
8.
8 and 6.
Yeah, 6.
Ooh, a 4. Yeah, so
I hit the 11
11 is gonna hit
to a 16.
16.
20 is the number, right?
Yeah.
I'll have to stay on that.
Alright, here we go. I got a
7.
7. Just climb your way up.
16.
6. I'm gonna stay.
16.
We're
Yep.
both at 16.
Okay. 2 16s and a 4.
9.
18.
9, 15.
I thought you had 9. Oh, it's a 6. No. Okay.
6, yeah.
So 15. Are you staying or hitting?
What do you have again?
I have 4.
She has a 4.
Oh, shit.
4.
I'll stay.
Okay.
15.
I have 8.
12.
Yeah, 14. Bust. So everyone gets paid out. So
I got fork. I got 2
4 gold.
Hey, you know what? I spend more on drinks being here all day.
At 10. So
That's funny.
Is it 2 to 1 now?
it is 2 to 1.
I've been in this bar 12 hours now.
So
20 gold.
you got paid 30.
Listen, I
20,
waited in a
4.
fucking line. You got a head start. At least you had fun.
Hey, the girl doesn't know what she's doing's up.
Nice.
He's like, sometimes gambling is a good thing.
Yeah, not at 50 gold.
What's my bar tab right now?
How many drinks do you think you've had?
I would say with continuous nonstop
6
I had
hours
about
of
4 or 5.
Huh?
and food.
4 or 5.
4 or 5.
And food.
Oh my god.
I mean, throw in water in there. Like, I don't want to be miserable, but like, I'm gonna be drinking.
Yeah, probably like 15,
2
15
drinks
gold
there.
or so by now. 10. I'd say like 10 gold.
So
Okay.
how long would the people who came back, like, were denied entry, how long have they been there?
Oh, probably about an hour and a half.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I'll cover theirs
Away the money the
too.
whole time.
What's that?
So I'll cover theirs for the hour.
Okay, then yeah, the total for like everyone we'll say is like 25 gold
Okay.
total with food, drinks, besides gambling,
We've probably gotten a few good ones from,
and a couple of free drinks. Yeah,
free drinks from that,
Okay.
so.
That's
but
fine.
if each drink was
I'll
you
hand
know
over 5 to you.
I've lost
4 or 5.
100
I
gold.
haven't had that much. Shouldn't have to take a while.
It's all right. I got
Actually,
paid
you know what? What am I talking about? It'd be like maybe 10 gold.
It would be, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, it would
You gotta
be that.
remember
It's probably like
silver
5
Yeah.
copper per drink. So yeah, I'd say like 10 gold
Okay.
for food, drink, everything.
I can definitely tell you this, even though we lost money here, even though I lost money here.
Yeah.
We'll be remembered.
Be remembered.
Hey, honey.
I don't know if that's what we want to be remembered for. By the way, how did it go over there? I mean, you guys came back early without Metal
Yeah,
Boy.
they only let Inari and Melicroft in. They didn't let us in. They said only one person could go. So we don't know. We
Sounds
told them
about
to be
right.
here. So when
We
they
stood in line that whole time.
Yeah, sounds about right. Well, I never had to wait in line, so.
Must be nice.
Oh, it was.
Yes.
The people in front of us wanted to get married, and apparently they were more important, so
We actually
we let them
did
go
see
ahead
it.
of us. I'm a
Oh.
man of the people.
Did
they
he really?
were already in front of us.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
And around that time, after you guys have played a few rounds and had some drinks, Inari and Melicroft enter the Matchsticks bar, and you're greeted by a bolo hat wearing gentleman, tall, slender, almost about 6 to 8 inches shorter than you, Melicroft, but compared to everyone else, pretty tall.
Melee!
And he starts to greet, and then you hear drunkenly like, "Hey!" from the back. He's like, "I believe you're expected."
Have I been in the matchsticks before?
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
I would assume so. So if I've ran into this innkeeper before, what's his name again?
Maker.
When Melicroft comes in, yeah, okay, there's my inventory. He'll greet him. Maker, hello. As you know, I won't be consuming anything, so here is a holding fee for my spot on the table for 10 gold.
And he takes it, puts it in his pocket, and he says, "As always, Melicroft, welcome. Join your friends."
Wasn't even a gamble.
Hello!
How did it go?
The drunken Callan and then the very sober Feria responds,
A
"Hey!"
very accustomed sight to me.
It went.
There's
He's not
been-
dead. Take it in stride.
Okay, so there's been a development.
It's the curse off.
I sound way too drunk for this.
Did you count 750 more gold pieces?
So I have some good news.
We're live.
Well,
Well, I
goodish.
Yeah.
That is, I hope, a given.
That seems like a
You were
surprise
sure
coming
this
out
was
of
safe.
that.
You know, both of them have been dead,
Oh, that's
so,
true.
you know.
That's a good point. Got the complications here.
so for the moment, our dagger problem
It's no longer a problem.
has been solved,
By who?
Great. That's great. No
and it would appear that the dagger is in possession of the person who employed Morris.
So you guys got paid then?
So we are still to meet Morris to collect payment, and I believe the odds are rather high that we can leverage significantly more money out of
That is great news.
it. Lenora has the dagger now.
Does that name ring a bell for me?
I mean, yeah.
Duchess Lenora has the dagger now.
You definitely know, you definitely know who she is.
Would I know her personally?
No,
Being
not
a
really.
Shazare family.
I'd go completely
Not really.
still.
Okay.
She's gonna grip the drink that she has, and
No.
her face is gonna light up more. She's gonna go, "What?"
Why does-
So,
You
From-
didn't give her the dagger.
for a man who doesn't breathe, he sighs very heavily.
it's just a lot of worrying.
I figured I would lead with that news. I could tell from your.
Melicroft.
Please allow me to explain.
I don't think giving.
Given
was
what
really
happened earlier
rough
when she
word.
arrived at the keep, you took shelter behind me. I believe you two have a past. We met with my colleague Shalane. We asked her about the dagger.
I think she's gonna break the glass the more you speak.
And she would not. She would be squeezing harder and harder if you. Yeah, it would break her.
She's not so upset that I lost 100 gold now, is she?
We spoke with Shalane. She recalled some of the history of the Night Stalker's Blade. I reestablished my connection with the Lore Keepers. I know none of that matters to you at the moment. When we presented the dagger to Shalane, she warned us that we needed to get it out of the keep because there were people, I think she said royals, that would want to get their hands on it. Royals.
No, she said, get it out of the castle because there's royals there. And
Royals. Okay.
royals
Royals is going
that
okay.
it's,
And
it's
it's-
dangerous to have that in the same place.
Because
where
It's drawn to the royals.
it's drawn to the royals.
And they like to kill each other in essence.
That is true.
We were cornered. I had to leave my equipment at the gate when we went inside. We were cornered moments after speaking. We hadn't been in Shalane's quarters for more than a few minutes, and Lenora came barging in. Quick aside, I have regained my citizenship. I still do not outrank royalty.
You never would.
We were cornered, And the only option that Inari and I, and perhaps all of us had, of seeing tomorrow was handing over the dagger. She hired Morris to get the dagger.
I believe that. Melicroft. Thousands of people are going to die.
I have no doubts about that. You have to believe me when I say we were cornered.
I do.
I didn't want to give it to her. It was not an easy decision.
I know you didn't.
I apologize here, but what exactly are you to believe that Lenora is going to cause thousands of people?
I've watched her kill hundreds of people. Hundreds of people.
Is this where we should be having this conversation? In the middle of the
I don't
hall?
know. She seems very sincere.
And we're in the. This is a loud place.
How loud is it?
You hear the eruption of someone rolling a 7. They're like, oh!
Melicroft will point to 3 tables over where someone else is having an emotional outburst.
I mean, we could go back to the church and talk about this, or I can go collect from Morris and meet you back.
Well, I don't know. I don't know much about when in my previous life as a lore keeper, I've had a few brief encounters with her. I don't know anything about her. I do know that dagger is pure evil, and anyone who is actively seeking it. We didn't even see her in the keep, besides when she came in through the gate, and suddenly she appears moments after we reveal the dagger to Shalane. That is not happenstance to me. I believe firmly. I did not want to give it to her.
I know you didn't. Let me think.
And if this woman is capable of genocide,
She is.
she's the last person to be clutching it. But in that moment, we had no means. We had no other way out of that room.
I know.
We had to think smart.
Well,
Come back later.
I know people are going to die now. People are going, and I know you needed to get out. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have given it to her. I understand.
It's not just
I know
us
what
that I was
she's
concerned
capable
about.
of. This is bad. This is bad.
well, let's take it a step at a time. Lenora has the dagger. We will get paid from Morris. The next thing is no offense, I don't know what the plans are, boss, but is Lenora the dagger our issue anymore? To be honest, I couldn't handle it, you couldn't handle it,
Well,
Fox Girl could handle it, but that's about it.
to be completely forthright, I've been reinstated as a lorekeeper if I ever even lost my status.
I can tell you right now, Melicroft's as bright as I've seen in a while, at least at lower levels. Citizenship, primo.
And I have an obligation to make sure that dagger does not. I'm still beholden to the lorekeepers, and I do not want harm to befall Thaldrin. I swore an oath a long time ago that I would prevent catastrophes from happening, especially at the hands of people who wish to do mass harm to the people. I do not know Lenora, but just from her demeanor in that room, it would appear to me that she does not have wholesome intentions with that dagger.
No royal has
It
any
is my
wholesome
problem.
intentions.
It would appear to be Feria's problem. It is my problem. I don't know. I keep saying this because it's true. I got the distinct sense that even I could not take Lenora in a fight.
No, I don't think anyone.
Well, when you've had the training of the elder militant for quite a
That's an
while.
understatement.
And we would have been killed on the spot for trying.
No, it's you. There was no choice, and Lenora rarely leaves choices. So that was the only way out of that room, was to hand her that dagger.
Forgive my confusion here, Farrah, but you said you've seen her kill many people. What exactly were the terms of this? I'm not too familiar with the Duchess. Was she like some sort of military leader for the militants or something? I don't really pay attention to such things.
Was she the elder militant?
What?
Would I know, or would Callan know if Lenora was in the elder militant?
Her father is the elder militant.
Well, no, I know. Like, was she in the militant herself?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna look around because we're obviously not alone.
Her current ranking right now is Duchess because she's the current highest ranking Aztec in her family besides her father, who is technically upstanded from rank because he's an elder. Just like the elder king is a Shazera, he doesn't rule.
He doesn't
over
qualify
Red
within the family.
Exactly. He's now elevated past family titles, essentially. So she is the highest ranking Aztec family member.
So she is right below a king, or
she'd be the equivalent of a king or a queen in her specific area.
Okay.
So I have to look up again the exact city. I think Aztec is. Sorry, I have like 90 different pages open right now. Jesus. One of the cities. Sorry, I don't have it up, so that's my bad.
Is it on the mainland of Udara?
It is, but I have like a sheet that has like each family.
It's probably not on this particular map.
It is on the map. It is on the map. It's one of the main cities in Shazera.
Zinfu,
Oh, so she lives in Shazera.
Yes.
Okay. So does that mean technically she would be under the Shazaran family?
Right, but the Shazaran family, just as this is the Shazera dynasty, they don't have any special ranking. It's just their family is current elder militant.
Oh, okay.
So Shazera is the dynasty, like that's just this rank, like this is the realm.
So the king of Shazera doesn't
Doesn't
rule all of
outrank
Shazera.
anyone else, no.
Okay.
Well, except for Gerald Shazera, who is the boss daddy of everybody.
So you've seen her kill lots of people? Or
Yes,
she
how-
commanded people to kill?
How dangerous is she?
Very.
Anyone of her level should be considered very dangerous.
So I'm gonna, or do we ever, are we sharing this gambling table with other people, or is it
Drydale.
just our table?
Sorry, Drydale. If I found my
Okay.
doc. So she is like the Duchess of Drydale, where they specialize in like militant and druidic magics.
I would lean in so that nobody outside of our table could hear. I would say she attempted a coup on the Shazaras a few years ago, and it failed. And when it did, she used her own name and influence to blame the coup on my legion. I was one of only 3 survivors, and they did this to me.
How many years ago?
2.5, 3.
Would I have known about that? Should?
They kept.
I mean, you would have known that there's often potential uprisings within the city ranks, but most of the time they get fizzled out and it doesn't really amount to anything. This seems like one of those times.
Okay.
Everyone was killed. Everyone. Everyone I ever cared about, anybody I ever loved, they all died that day. Because of her. Was there anyone else with her in the room?
There were two of her personal guard detail in similar armor to the militant, but
Did you see their faces?
no, it was a similar. Their faces were covered. I couldn't make out any details in particular. I can tell you though that she did explicitly mention there might be a change of hands of the Elder Throne or something like that, and that what she told me was that she wanted the dagger to ensure that whoever was coming next wouldn't be harmed, though I don't know that I buy that.
You could totally trust royals.
It
Well,
would have.
Grandpappy is coming to the end of his life, so you know.
She didn't want the dagger playing a role in how things were to
Play forward.
which
Maybe
is
she's worried it's going to be used against her. Her family.
Well, she could be trying to force a change, but might as well just wait it out. To be honest.
I think if she can play both, she played both sides. She tried with force, it didn't work. She tried with diplomacy,
I just
and
think
at least that covered her tracks.
I just think it's funny that I've had a dagger in my back for 800 years, and now she's so worried And it's going to play a role. Like this dagger's not been missing.
Was Lenora an elf? Or is she human?
She's human.
Yeah, she wouldn't have known about it without...
She's buff.
Okay, yeah, when basically your description, I was like, she Goliath is just jacked. And
She just
According to Shalane,
she does CrossFit, you know.
She's worried so much.
I believe this Night Stalker's blade has more of an influence than we believed at first, and apparently when it was sealed with you inside your temple, that influence was cut off from the world. I get the feeling that perhaps the more hands it touches, something about its influence is reaching out now. Lenora had no reason to even... There's no way she could have known that dagger was even within the keep, let alone anywhere.
If you work back, she's the one who put out the mission for it. She knew about it in some way, form or fashion, before it was removed from your back.
But that...
And awakened, however that may be. So someone told her.
But that was before we unsealed Inari.
What did Shalane say about... I know it was only a few minutes, so maybe nothing was talked about at all. Did she know anything about the dagger before Lenora took it?
She mentioned something.
The sentient was sealed within it that was once mortal.
She said the Night Stalker was a tale from when she was young. She is, oh my gosh, several hundred, younger than Inari, but I would say several hundred years old. Last discussion I had with her, it was near about 400 years old. She said that the dagger belonged to the Night Stalker, who was once, and the gears really start kicking on, an elven man with a specific name
She could not remember.
that may have descended into madness or something. She could not remember this elven man's name.
As you say that, I'm looking around the whole time, and I was just going to say, well, the Silence seem to know something about the Night Stalkers, and they are drow elf people. They could know something.
They knew that.
For the,
They called it the Night Stalkers.
Yeah, that's where we got the name from.
in case I saw something.
Yeah. You notice a familiar face playing Jip. Putting up 100 gold pieces. You watch as a draconian hand pushes forward the gold pieces, and you recognize Igor from Carson's Keep at the Wyvern Tavern.
He's playing gold pieces and rolling.
Sorry, we'll wait on that. Yeah, you notice him pushing forward, and you see his hype men, the keys, behind him, like preparing to, cheer him on if he gets lucky.
I guess Ponce now will lean in when I mentioned the Silence. I was like, maybe we should just take drinks to go. We talk about this back at the church. Because my old friend Igor's here, and he's gambling awfully heavy. Which means he...
Did he just swim?
And you hear, and all of them start cheering. Igor! And they start shaking. You just did it! You won 400 gold. And he's holding up the dice. He's like, I did it! And you watch the dealer just and kind of calls over to Maker, and Maker walks over and he says, "What luck! Cannot believe this. I've never seen anyone win 1,600 gold pieces."
Oh my god.
And he sort of gives him this look and kind of raises his eyebrows. And Igor, oh my god, Igor looks at him and he says,
No, we're okay. We're happy with the 400. This will get us drinks for the night and a place to stay, and oh, what a good day. And Maker's like, all right. And he goes back to his office and comes back with a bag of gold, puts it down. He's like, congratulations to the winners, and like gets everyone excited in the bar. And he whispers something into Icar's ear, and Icar, you see his draconian snout like go, and gets up and goes to the bar and starts ordering drinks, holding his sack of gold, just putting 3 or 4 gold down per drink, just overspending. But yeah, you notice that happening in the background while they're having a very serious conversation.
So we could either leave, and I might say,
well, let's stop by Morris.
Is it too late to stop by Morris and get? Yes. Let's get the money.
If he
What
is,
time would you say this?
Probably like 7, 8 o'clock.
if he is
The music has like livened up now. Like now it's starting to get kind of a little more packed, a little more lively in here. Yeah, there's
If he's under Lenora's thumb,
I can't go. You'll have to go collect.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at collecting them.
I believe it would behoove us to go speak to him.
You see walking in. Sorry, you guys can go, but he rolled an investigation check that was really good. You actually see Morris walk in. You recognize a large, half-orc, heavy-set, man walk in. You see him walk up to Maker and just give him a big old hug. He's like, pats him on the back, flips him a coin, shows him a piece of paper, and they sort of review something real quick, and then he just starts waddling in. And as he does, everyone around sees him and starts like cheering as he walks by, and they're like, "Oh, Morris!" Blah, 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 like just excited to see him. And then you lot, most of you recognize him because you've seen him to collect the bounty. You recognize Morris, the top leader of the Baronistos.
That
Well,
easy.
there's your chance, Cornelius.
Well, I don't really deal with Morris per se. If I can take Ferry away, then we can deal with it. We can collect now, then move on. And maybe we can even gamble a little bit of it to make more profit.
Well, there's no better time to speak with a man than now.
We might as well.
He might not be down for business, but we can at least try to get the money, knowing now that Laura has it. We can maybe ask for more. I did like that idea, but I don't know if that's going to go super well.
She said we'd be compensated.
She said we'd be compensated. We also were told it could be worth at least as much as 100,000 gold.
I haven't done this in a long time.
Hold on
There's
a
a
minute.
stark difference.
They have
Since
been
you're the
1,000,
one-
but you've definitely piqued my interest.
Since you're the one that spoke to her, I think you have to be the one to go collect.
I'll come with you, Bobby.
Well, then I'm definitely
I'm
going.
gonna, like, a heavy metal hand slaps you on the back and pushes you forward.
3 pops. How about I do the talking on this one? Shakes.
Would you like my assistance?
You stay
quite
exactly where
well.
you
You spoke to her too. Yeah.
Y'all keep underestimating
I think
me,
she
but I'm
needs
quite
to go
good at
too.
this.
Yeah.
I've seen you in action.
Between you and I, Meadowcroft, you are known as the savior of the Undercity. Nobody knows who the hell she is. She can sit right there and sit pretty, and we can point to her if she needs to be involved.
You think I'm pretty?
Yes.
It's a phrase. You sit there and look pretty. I'm not indifferent
I've
to it.
never been told I was pretty before. Oh, thank
Just mind
Take
yourself.
coins.
I would say that Lenora caught her name, and I would like to make sure that the Baronistas aren't out for her. So we should bring her with us when we talk to her.
She goes, I go.
It looks
Can
like
we
we have
please, and
a...
I'm keeping an eye on Morris,
I'll
make
be
sure he's
here.
not getting to
I'm
an
not going
unusual
to talk to
table.
Morris now
Can we
that I
please
know
hurry this
direction.
up? I don't want the man to get comfortable before he has to do, before business is being done.
And let's not be dour about this.
Let's go talk to him.
I straighten out my jacket. I start heading that way.
Without your cloak,
I know. I need another.
you will look like a common man.
Without my diamond, or
Are you
platinum
going?
banded diamond.
No, the boss is not going to stay with me.
Okay. I guess we'll approach.
I'll
Yeah.
watch. I
The
would
four
be
of us, is
watching.
that that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Levi, are you going with them?
No, I'll sit back.
Okay. So just to be clear, it's you 5.
That's four.
No, I'll stay with
Staying back.
boss.
Yeah.
Oh, you're staying.
Anari, Millicroft, Caehanna, and Cornelius.
Okay.
I lead the way as I walk up the doors. Like,
I like the
hello,
idea of
Mortal.
I mean, yeah, I'll-
of a group.
I'll wave at him in my giant friendly manner as we approach.
Yeah, you guys wave, and he immediately recognizes you, Melicroft. And then a moment later, he recollects Cornelius, having only met you one time. What do I owe the pleasure?
Morris, it is good to see you again.
Usually is. It usually is great to see me.
And that is true. You are a delight, and I genuinely mean that.
And then go ahead and get two of me. Yeah, go ahead.
I have business to speak with you about concerning the contract on the dagger.
Yeah, the dagger that no one can find. Yeah.
Actually,
it doesn't really matter anymore.
we did find
It's
the dagger,
the- it's
and we
the-
gave it to Lenora ourselves.
Oh, you're the ones.
Yeah.
I and my associate Denari spoke to her directly.
Whoa. That's slow. Sorry, it's been a long day. Where we at on those fucking beers? Sorry. So you're the ones that she was talking about. You're the ones who found the blade and made all the money, huh?
Well, we actually came to you in order to get payment back for that. She said that you would be compensating us for this time, and I believe the agreed upon price was 1,000. But negotiations, in my terms, are open because we were also told the value of such blade might be 100,000 gold pieces. Now, I'm willing to reconnoiter a 10% finder's fee of $10,000.
The beers finally show up and he just starts to drink.
And I'll pay for your beverage.
Oh, you're gonna pay for my beverage, huh? I don't even pay for my beverages here. Here's the thing. Thank you for finding me. And you know what? Even better, I don't know who you two are.
Caehanna. That's my name.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. But I don't know who you are. Like, were you part of the group?
Yes. They ended up helping us find the dagger.
So you like teamed up?
Yes, sort of. Yes.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You could
Oh,
say
just
they
like-
stumbled upon me.
That's just beautiful. I'd love to hear that.
The contract was taken out by the 3 strikes. They will get paid. And we will,
Sweetheart, the contract was taken out by hundreds of groups.
the
but-
3 strikes were successful.
But the beauty is that what makes the Baronistas so strong, right, is the ability to grow our family. And that's what you've done. You went out there as a group and you grew your family. It's beautiful. I'd love to see that. And you were successful, like you said. So, I've been compensated for the dagger as of this afternoon, which means it's only fair that you're also compensated for the dagger. Now, since you all teamed up and you did the hard part of delivering the dagger directly to Lenora Aztec, I think it's fair that we pay you a little bit more. I bet you like the sound of that, don't you, money guy?
It rings true to my ears. Morris, you're speaking my language.
We were thinking a fee, what was it, 1,500 was originally the goal? Was that 1,000? I don't really
I
remember.
believe we negotiated down to 1,500 to help you.
Okay. Then I think it's probably fair if we do 2,500 gold pieces
Sounds correct.
for the collection of the dagger and delivery, and then you can wipe your hands clean and go about your business. Or I can pay you 4,000 gold pieces and sign you on as members of the Baronistas. All we ask is that you do a couple of jobs for the family.
And your rates go a little bit higher once you become members, once you're one of us. Or, no harm done, you can just take your money and walk. But it seems like you enjoy a good time, that's why you're here. Seems like you enjoy money, that's why you did the job. Seems fair to request to continue to do both of the things you guys enjoy so much.
One moment there, Morris. I turned around to the crowd. What do you think? Do you think Farrier would go for this? Or was like, between you and I, not them involved, because they're not part of it.
Yeah, he'll lean over.
Yeah. I was the one that pulled it out of her belt.
So,
Yeah, small potatoes.
Small potatoes.
Well, you get a 1,500 gold piece difference here. I'm talking to the big man. You and I can do this together. Let's figure this out. Do you think Farrier would want to be contractually bound to do a secret in the...
And as he's trying to have this conversation, my name will not be tied to anything outside of, my goddess and savior. Unfortunately, we will have to decline your offer.
That's awesome.
But I will take.
well, I was going to say, and not within earshot of him, but to quote Feria, does the term fuck no mean anything?
I've heard that one lots of times.
We'll politely turn back to him.
With all due respect and with the most utmost respect for you, Morris, we will decline your offer, and maybe future contracts could be opened up in helping you out with the agreed upon price pre-contract would be appreciative. 2,500 gold pieces.
Oh, no, you said pre-contract, which was 1,000, right?
No,
you're right, deal.
All right.
Pre-contract of asking you to be joined with a family.
Nah, I'm just fucking with you, guy, of course. All right, here's what you're gonna do.
Cornelius is sweating.
Opening negotiations, shit.
Here's what you're gonna have to do. And he's gonna pull out this little pocketbook he has, and he's gonna write something on it, rip it off, and hand it over to you. And on it, it just says, pay 2,500 gold pieces, and it just says signed by Morris Croft. So it says like his signature. It says, you're gonna wanna take this across the street there. Walk into the Baronistas, the plaza. Go see Midge. She'll make sure you get paid right away.
Midge?
Yeah, Midge. Something wrong with Midge?
Nothing. I've never had the pleasure of meeting Midge.
I have met Mitch, and Mitch is a man of honor, and he conducts great business for you. We appreciate your time, and we will waste no more of it.
Pretty serious,
I do have a quick question. Did she ever mention to you why she wanted the dagger?
When I grab
One
this,
second.
I hand it to her. You
trying to be a funny guy?
No.
It seems like you're trying to make fun of me. You're trying to be funny right now. As I'm offering you a courtesy of paying you a lot of fucking money.
I can assure you that I'm not making fun of you in the slightest.
So you think Midge, my wife, is a nice guy that you've worked with?
I've met another one. I wasn't referring to your wife. That is my miscalculation.
Common mistake. My beautiful wife, Midge, handles all of the contract affairs. If there's any sort of affiliation, I guess you've already turned over the dagger, so you don't have to decurse it or nothing, but she would have handled that for you. So just go collect your monies and come back over here and spend some more.
Yes, sir.
All right, fuck off. There were a lot of you. You, start playing over here. Let's liven this place up a bit. Day's over. Weekend is here. Harvest Festival in 2 days. And everyone starts like jumping around, and they're like, "Oh shit, okay, it's time." And like the music starts to get louder, and like dancing starts to happen.
What about my question?
Yeah, he specifically ignored your question.
We'll get an answer to your question some other time.
Did he say Mitch or did he say Midge?
He said Midge, his wife. And by the way,
I swear he said Mitch.
No,
there's a Mitch that works for him. He's great. I wasn't trying to insult the man's betrothed.
I don't think it really
Goodness
matters
gracious.
now, Croft. We've succeeded. He's happy. He's been paid more than the 2,500 we got,
really
which
feel
we're
like I
only
need
going
to
to say is
apologize.
1,000 to Feria.
I really feel like I need to apologize to him, but he's a hard man to talk to for very long.
He just wants to have a good time and we can let it go, okay?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to. And I'll turn around and start walking.
God damn it. But yeah, you have that slip of paper, which is your currency to get paid by Midge.
Midge.
I wonder if I could mind
His wife, Mitch.
His wife, Midge.
But I do come back and I was like, well, good news for the 3 strikes plus wow. I was able to negotiate our contract up, so we actually got paid more than we initially thought.
Oh yeah, how much?
He set us at 1,000, and I got us all the way up to 2,500.
Oh.
Did you?
I'd be truthful.
Yes.
I want an insight check on that.
Yeah, you definitely.
Oh, I was going to say Melcroft is standing behind him, just shaking his head.
He was telling the truth. He told the truth.
I didn't lie about the number, I lied about how it was given.
It could be out of exasperation. It could be just like...
Also, Morris said that if we ever want to be involved in his own family business, we can do more for higher rates, but I don't really know about that. We seem to be more of a freelance sponge, so I left that up to the group to decide. I haven't really gone into many of these things, but we need to turn this into Midge.
I'm gonna try and snatch it out of his hand when he holds it up.
Explicitly, I cannot emphasize this enough. Not Mitch. You know Mitch? Mitch, by the armory. Mitch.
By the way, Midge is his wife.
Mitch died 2 weeks ago.
Mitch died!
Mitch was a part of the group y'all killed in the cave.
His wife, Mitch?
I thought he said Mitch.
Did you get
He
hit?
didn't say his wife. I think the only reason I didn't get assaulted or thrown out of the bar is that it's physically impossible to throw me out of the bar.
I could throw you out of there.
Oh, you're really lucky. You're nice, Melcroft.
So I would say we should probably cash that in with his wife, Midge, and then
Yeah, not Mitch.
Not Mitch.
figure out.
We went to his funeral.
Was that the person I bought that really nice bouquet of flowers and stuff? That was really nice. I didn't know it was for the funeral. He probably didn't build the casket.
Well, that's true. And I performed so many funeral rites. But that's neither here nor there. He tried to offer us a place amongst the Baronistas. He tried to recruit us. We declined the offer.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, maybe if it could have signed a deal with him. He seems to have an awful lot of money, though. Maybe trying to get the
A lot of people
dagger out
don't
of the
gamble it away or they actually win.
The idea of winning has crossed my mind.
And yet it evades you.
I won 60 gold earlier, Terry.
You hear another eruption of cheer, and you look over, and it's still the keys like sitting there, and it's Icar again, just like screaming as there's like a bigger pile of money now sitting
I
on the
pointed
table.
back towards Jerry. I was like, that could be us. I negotiated over 1,500 on that contract. We could win. at
Icar
least 4 times more.
sees you pointing, and he's like cheering, and he's like,
What are the odds?
and he's like waving you over, like, come
You
here.
have the note, right?
I have the
Oh, thank God.
I was actually going to go over there and ask him. I was going to head over there.
He's like, you'll never believe this. I just won 2,000 gold pieces.
That's utterly amazing. I've never seen anybody win so much.
I've only played twice. I played once, I did 100. I won 400. I played again, I did 400, and I won 1,600.
That is absolutely remarkable. I wonder where you got that much money. I'm just out of curiosity. Did you guys band together for that kind of strategy?
Well, no. We completed a job and got paid, you know.
Oh, fantastic.
It wasn't the one we wanted, because you guys did not find the dagger, but, you know, we
Yeah,
completed.
bad news. Somebody stole that dagger from us. We're piss poor now.
That's too bad. Do you want some of our money?
No, that wouldn't be right. I mean, maybe if you could lend us a few coins, we get on our feet.
Well, sure. There's what, 8, 7? And he gives you like 80.
I mean, you don't
he
have
gives
to
you
go-
80 gold pieces. He's like, this should be 10 each. This is enough for like probably a room and some food for a couple of days for each of you.
You know what? Thank you very much. We actually have been on the
He feels bad.
We've actually been on the road and we had trouble, so we appreciate that. We put a lot of money into trying to find that dagger, and it got stolen from us in the middle of the night by some tall guy. It looked like a lion.
Ramsey.
No, it was some other one.
Some other
It's
thing.
just falling the fuck apart.
Cornelius, time to
He
go.
says, well, hey, sincerely, it's good to see you. And he like gives you the 80 gold pieces. He says, don't worry about it. This is not a loan. Just
Enjoy it. Enjoy. Harvest Festival next week. Spend some money. Support some of the local businesses.
Yeah.
You spend money around here, it all comes back together, you know?
If I saw a great harvest, I would be guaranteed to repay you back in multiple fold.
You're a farmer.
No, not me particularly. We actually have people who are farmers that might work for my uncle, actually, if I think about it. But anyway, you have a good evening, and I hope the best for you and the rest of your day.
Back to it! And then, like, they start drinking again. Cool. Well, you can add 80 gold pieces to your inventory.
We know he's popular.
That's more money than most of the people in this bar right now.
Okay, yeah, what are y'all doing? Y'all going across the street?
Let's go to Midge.
Yep, so you guys go across the street.
I can't believe you kept over and
and you guys go into the plaza, and it's kind of dead in here right now. Like a lot of the training is done. Like most of the people who are typically in here from the last time you were here seem to be dissipated, probably across the street getting drunk now that Morris is gone. The boss is gone, so everyone's like, why are we still here? But you look around for a little while and you find it's like a alcove kind of built into the wall where there's an office with a glass front. And there's a little slot that you can like slide in your ticket, and it just says accounts payable on top. And when you look inside, the chair is turned away, and there's you see the back of the head of a woman who's like filtering through some sort of documents behind in the chair. What do y'all do?
Excuse me. Hello? Knock, knock.
Oh, as you knock, like there's like a startled moment, and then she turns, and it is a beautiful elven woman. Probably a bit younger, well, quite a bit younger than Shalane, but still has a lot of her like youthful elven qualities. And she turns around and she's got like these little glasses on that are hanging on by these chains. And she has her hair kind of brought up into like kind of a sloppy bun, obviously end of work, like she was just kind of getting things done. She turns around and looks up and sort of gives a soft smile at Euphoria, and she says, oh, well, looks around, and then presses a button, and you hear like this soft like kind of chime. She says, how can I help you?
Hi, we're looking for Midge.
Oh, 1 second. And she stands up and walks out. And then this half-orc woman comes out and sits down, just plops down. Just boom. What?
Hi, we are here to cash in our receipt.
Slide the paper through the door.
Sliding.
You slide it through, and she just
25. Yeah, okay, from Morris. All right. Do you have any? He didn't fucking put it on there. He's a fucking idiot sometimes. Do you have the item on you?
No, it was transferred directly to the person looking.
So no de-enchantments needed.
No.
Okay.
That would have been fucking easy.
she just flips through, and you see a little bag kind of pop out, or it's like this not a bag. It's like a little envelope. It's like an envelope of holding. As she like opens it up and reaches in,
That's cool.
and pulls out a bag of like 1,000 gold pieces, and then a 500 gold piece bag. Closes it, puts it down, and then she's like, all right, so here's what you do. You take this one. She slides it through the. That's 1,000, and then that should be 2,000 and 2,500. Okay, darling. Anything else we can do for you?
Melcroft's gonna lead in. Yeah, is there any kind of ongoing like memorial fund for Mitch?
We already have a.
Yeah, Mitch. He died. No memorial fund or nothing. No, I mean he's dead. So what's he gonna use the money for?
Yeah. Well, my
My condolences.
Did you know him?
No.
It's just a sad state of affairs.
Oh, sure. He was a darling. Well, do you want to give money to his body or something?
No. I appreciate your time. It was a curious question. I apologize.
Yeah.
Is anybody in Mitch's will? By chance?
Now you're playing my game.
I'm so sorry.
I don't really know him that well. He was just one of the guys. He was a fucking mercenary, man. He died out doing mercenary shit.
Did you know anything about the dagger, by chance?
What dagger, darling?
The one that we were requested to bring.
I'm not sure. Can you give me more details upon it? I just received a piece of paper that said pay $2,500. It's safe for what? I don't know what dagger.
This Morris guy, your husband, right?
Yeah, this Morris guy, the guy who runs this fucking joint. Yeah.
I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, why are you asking questions?
Yeah. What about him?
Is there, by any chance, do you know what the lady needed the dagger for? Are you involved in any of this? You know, nighttime talk.
She looks up from her side, up at the ceiling for a moment. You follow her eyes to on your side where it says accounts payable. She says, "No, I just pay the checks." But
sorry.
Maybe ask Morris if you have questions. I mean, he's not the most chatty, but maybe he'll help you out if you're nice or something.
I think he's too busy pissing away money at the gambling table.
Oh, he better not be.
If I were you, I'd go get him then.
Oh, he knows better than that. He'll have a couple beers and that's it.
Oh.
He doesn't gamble away my money.
Mitch runs a tight ship.
We apologize.
Did you see him gambling?
No. We just spoke to him. He was sitting and
There'll be
enjoying
his
a
fucking
drink.
balls if he did.
No gambling. We appreciate your time. You have a wonderful evening.
Absolutely. And she like blows a kiss at you like, have a good weekend. And she like you see her like shut the gate and it's like this like metal like.
As Melcroft turns around, you know, they seem to have really like healthy boundaries and communication for a couple. Like he spoke adoringly of her, and
right
she
now is
seemed to
inside. I
have
was just
a pretty-
kidding.
I don't know. I feel like those two get along.
Healthy.
You didn't know he only ordered 2 beers.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Well, do we want to
Split it up.
split it? Yeah. So.
Yep. So you guys have now been paid, and with the completion of delivering the dagger, at your next long rest, you will all level up to level 4. Thought this would happen a lot sooner, but it happened. So
We took our time.
hey, like I said, we milestone around here, and this was the milestone. So
It just took us a long time.
Are we trying to deliver gold to people that, obviously all of us evenly, right?
Yeah, I would imagine.
I don't request any money.
You don't want any?
Because counting Isidore, it's 312 a piece with an extra half piece for, so it'd be 312 a piece plus extra 3 pieces.
Yeah.
And you want no money.
I don't need any money.
So divided by
So
7.
somebody would get, divided by 7, I guess.
I got
Which is a better number. Well,
357 each.
yeah, so everybody get 357.
I'll just mooch off you.
That's fine. You can.
Don't worry, I've helped people mooch off of me. Or did. Not that it's a bad thing.
And what would it have been with whatever, yeah, I'll take the 357.
yeah. So I added.
Melcroft's an easy target to mooch off of.
I added that.
Totally, man.
I added that to Isidore as well. So for Mandy, yeah. Okay. Well,
Back to the church.
yeah. You guys trying to go back to the Undercity to rest for the night, or what? What else are you doing?
Find the other people of the Fane.
Right. And
In the
my,
library. I'm not supposed to live in.
We need to check in with. We need to check in with Shark to further that along.
Or we still got another day before that. He told us to check in.
Indeed. So
We can just stay at headquarters again unless we want to get a room here.
I mean, if we want to... I mean, it's not that far of a travel back down.
No, it's like right there.
Yeah.
The library's going to have to wait till tomorrow.
Well,
Where you could take people.
By the way, speaking of the library, with my status reinstated with the Lore Keepers, I can grant you access at any time to the library to research whatever it is you need to research.
Do you have to be with me?
Yes.
Yes, I will need to represent you, but that is fine.
And don't you need your sister about someplace?
Yes.
I would need to ask Shark if he's heard anything about her whereabouts.
Yeah.
So, you guys go back to...
Sorry. I remember what happened.
Well,
I was overseeing Larry's funeral. That's why I wasn't at Mitch's funeral.
That's right.
You were double booked class.
That's
I never liked Larry.
Mitch. Sorry. Let's continue.
He's gonna have nightmares about this guy.
So you guys go back down to the Undercity, travel through the tunnels, go to headquarters or Feria's abandoned Church of Soul. And unless there's anything else you guys want to do, get your long rest and level up.
Yeah.
We'll do the leveling up at the start of... Well, I guess you guys can do it like in between now and then. Just kind of pick. I don't think at level 4 you get anything besides just like a...
ASI?
Yeah. So
Or
you guys-
feats, depending what you want to do.
Yeah,
How
we'll
do
just
you
do
want-
ASI. I mean, you can choose if you want to do a feat instead, but
Okay.
it's not both. So
I didn't know if you were going to do that or not.
no, that's too OP. But we'll you might do that
It's
later.
never too OP.
Well,
At some
that's-
point in time, Cornelius would have said
With
congratulations.
our track record, we need all the help we can get.
yeah.
Strikes and Company needs all the
Strikes and Company.
needs all the help we can get.
Cool. Yeah. So
So,
as you're waking up the next morning, feeling slightly more powerful, stronger, more agile, higher constitution, whatever you fucking choose. There's a blast in your heads, all of you. A flashing purple light. You all see the Undercity caved in, shattered. You see the waterfall, the curtain, non-existent. The water seems to have been burnt up, evaporated. The church itself has been brought down to rubble, just ancient, destroyed, desecrated. There's a purple aura in the sky, almost a filament, almost like a aurora borealis, but of purple and black flame almost in the sky. And then you guys all come back, you're all just looking at each other, having that same recollection of we all just saw the same thing. And that's where we'll end the session.
Hey, I have a question. I have many questions.